My name is Rafa Esparza. Many of you know me as a friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, but that's not all I do in our sport. I'm a jiu-jitsu commentator, broadcaster, photographer, meme maker, analyst, writer, coach, tournament producer, and occasional athlete therapist. I know, it's weird. I've worn many hats in jiu-jitsu, but the one that I cherish the most is serving as a host. We have done some incredible things over the past 4 years on this show, but starting this Tuesday, we will roll out a brand new experience for fans of the Grappling Hour. Going forward, we will be offering 2 membership-based offerings. Tier number 1 will give our fans early access to my interviews. Tier 1 members will have the ability to see my interviews a month before they're released to the general public. And as a topical show that has a track record of being the first destination for some of the biggest names in our sport, you won't want to miss out on those. Members of this tier will also have access to audio versions of this show in the event that they don't want to see my face, which I totally get. Each month, subscribers will get to see 4-hour-long interviews. Tier 2 members will not only have early access to my interviews, but they will also get to see brand new content that will not be available anywhere else. New premium content includes bi-weekly podcast minisodes. These episodes are designed for the grappling superfans who want in-depth discussions with our guests on topics ranging from greatest losses to opponents that competitors respected the most. Topics will be explored for limited runs, anywhere between 4 to 10 weeks, and will give the featured guests on each episode an opportunity to share the type of unique insight that either gets lost or overlooked in most other interviews. Drill Sessions, a monthly segment where friends and guests of the show will share short videos of the techniques and sequences they're currently drilling in their gyms. Swept Under the Mat, never before seen behind the scenes footage from the Grappling Hour archives, and short videos and vlogs from the coverage that I do at various MMA and grappling live events. Members will also be treated to show bloopers and occasional clips of my own training sessions. There's also going to be a live chat dedicated to members of this tier that will answer questions ranging from just about anything you guys want to throw at me. And finally, members of this tier will also have the ability to pitch mini-sode episodes and occasionally submit questions for upcoming guests. To become a member, head on over to hi.page/Grappling Hour. You can also find the link for that page in the description below. Now listen, I know there are a lot of you who may not be able to afford these subscription tiers. That's why it's important to me to still offer some content for those people who want to support the show, but may not have the means to do so financially. So for you, we're still going to offer a condensed weekly version of the show. That show will give you the first 10 minutes of my interviews, and a month after that episode is released to our early access and premium subscribers, they will be unlocked on our YouTube page. In return, all that I ask is that you subscribe to us here on our YouTube page and that you continue to like and share the content that you enjoy on our page. I know money is tight for everybody right now, The last thing you want to do is thinking about having to invest in another subscription-based service. But I hope that you see the value in the types of interviews that I do. I hope you see the consistency of my coverage over the past 10 years, and I hope you see the overall vision that I have for this show. I have never been short on ambition. And for the next phase of this show, I'm taking a pretty big swing. So with that, I'm going to need some support. I hope that you'll come with us and help us become an even bigger and better show. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for even watching all the way to right now, even if you do nothing. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. What is up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you live with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. I hope that you are in for a long one. I know I am, because tonight we're watching FLOGRAPPLING presents, TEZOS presents Who's Number One, which is a mouthful. It's actually backwards. I might have dyslexic read it, but either way, you get the idea. There's a lot of people presenting this to you. So we're presenting their presentation. So yes, we will be watching along. This is a watch along. This is not a thing where we show you what's on screen, because the people over there at FLOGRAPPLING, they know me. Some of them do not like me. I'm not sure. I think we're friendly with most people, but I just assume they don't like us. So right now, Mia Freya ended up winning in her bout, the AOJ Prodigy, getting a nice win. Went to go congratulate, get her congratulations from her coach right now, a very familiar face within the jiu-jitsu scape. So that is already what has happened. Before then, we had a B-team win as well. So we are in what is referred to as the prelims. So these prelims are actually available on YouTube right now. So if you were looking for finding these as free fights, I could tell you this right now. You can go there and you can watch along with us for, I believe, the next two matches, and then we go to the main card. So right now, you've got your pal here, Rafa Esparza. Obviously, you can listen to Ricardo and Sean, but here's a big difference. One, they can't be funny. FLOGRAPPLING has a very strict, boring rule. Though Sean is great. I know Sean can actually be super funny. So they're just constrained by that. But over here, we can drink. And today's drink comes to us from our good friend Milton Arguello, Mixed Martial Arts, which, by the way, Jesus, this is how you can tell I'm dyslexic. Rep the merch over this way. It is called Atmospheric Disturbance. It is a murky quadruple India Pale Ale. He very nicely gave this to me a couple weeks ago, and I am finally going to go ahead and drink that. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited that you guys are here. Tell me what match in the comment section. There's a little live chat. Feel free to tell us things in there. I'll be monitoring that as well. But feel free to tell us in the live chat section what match you are most excited for. Now, granted, things changed, so we were expecting a certain main event that's not there anymore. We'll get into that as we go, but it should be a very, very fun night nonetheless. So we have that going on, and also I'm going to go ahead and go live here on the Instagram. If you guys are so kind, it would be great if you go ahead and follow us on all of our pages. But why don't we start by saying big shout out to our friends over on Twitch. And if you guys are, oh God, my Twitch banner went all the way over to the side. Oh no, we have to do that again. That was terrible. There, bam, fixed. That's how you know it's live, everybody. That is our Twitch account. That is at Grappling Hour. So all the accounts are at Grappling Hour. We're very easy to find. But man, that means the other one might be fucked up as well. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying to you guys is, since I am monitoring the comments, if you put them, I should be able to either integrate them into the broadcast. If you're watching on any of our channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, we are about to invite our friends over on Instagram to watch along as well. However, they don't have the good that you guys have, because this is where the real broadcast and magic happens, because we can put up banners, we can put up your comments, and these yokels, they won't even know that. They didn't even hear me say any of that. So just remember, I love you guys more than them. Don't tell them that, though. I don't want this to get territorial. I just want you guys to know that if I had a preference, you would be saved first in one of the life rafts. Everybody else would be saved in accordance to whatever. So my thanks to you all for watching tonight. And why don't we start off with a nice little toast to everybody who is tuning in, because guess what? I believe, you know what? Let's hold this toast. I take that back. I do want the Instagram people here for that one. So hold accordingly. You're going to hear me say some of the boring stuff on over again, but just deal with it and pretend like you didn't, because again, we're here for a long time tonight. What's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, Rafa Esparza. We are watching Who's Number One live, as presented by TEZOS, presenting FLOGRAPPLING's Who's Number One, presented by the Grappling Hour. It's a mouthful, I know. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching along, and thanks to our folks over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Just to let you guys know, these are the prelims, so you can watch these live. There is a walkout happening right now, and this is another one of those matches that kind of things very quickly changed. What's up, Lince Dorado? Oh my goodness, it's good to see you, Spicy Jits. That dude, Jason, who just celebrated a birthday, good to see you, brother. Reese Laver, it made his way on out. This is in the lightweight category. I'm very excited to see this match, but Esteban Torres is going to be walking out here, and this is a young man who I have just proclaimed is the Tasmanian devil of jiu-jitsu. His escapes, his movement, it is exhausting to watch, and I believe he had a different opponent that just at the very last second ended up getting replaced. So, you know, I wonder what that does, but if it is working in his favor, Esteban could look very, very good today. So very excited for that. But yes, Spicy Jits, who just yelled out, "Let's go!" We will. I have a rule about let's go. I'll get to that in a second. But you got Reese and Esteban taking the mats right now. And again, in case you're wondering where you can watch this, what's up, Warrior Wellness Nutrition? Good to see you. You can actually see these last two matches shoot in real quick by Esteban, who gets the shot. He's got to worry about the back here very quickly, but he maneuvers very, very fast. So I'm not sure he'll get his back taken on that one. But yes, as I was saying just a few seconds ago, this whole match, it does change some of the trajectory of how we thought things were going to go for young Esteban, but he has proven always the apt guy who's game for stuff. And I want to point this out already. There's been 4 transitions in this, but yes, Who's Number One, last 2 matches of the prelims, and then we go to the main event, or at least the main card. My apologies for previewing this earlier, but Esteban may have just kind of put himself into a twister, finds himself getting out of it, clearing the legs. He may still be in back contention, but he is evading it very nicely. His constant movement is definitely problematic, but it is showing that Reese is very game and had him for a split second. Esteban's the only person I know who could put himself into an omoplata and then just make it look effortless. But there we have it right now. We're looking at him with this arm trapped as if it was an omoplata. Looked like it could have been a crucifix combination with it. Still in danger, but Esteban able to kind of maneuver himself out of it. And it does look like Reese is maintaining the grip on the arm as to come up on top on it. However, his positioning is very awkward. It almost looks like in transition he could come up to an S mount, but Esteban reverses the position from underneath and now is going to attack from up top and does a tornado-esque whirlwind that does not advance the position, but was sure as fun to watch from at least this position. Some jockeying back and forth. I mean, if there was any sort of wondering why it is that I referred to him as the Tasmanian Devil, I mean, that is it. And he just literally threw his, oh God, he's doing it again. He's coming in like Koopa and just throwing himself multiple times. I think it's kind of an interesting strategy when you consider the fact that the bulk of it is like, hey, here's my taint. It's just going to fly at your face. That dude Jason writes, I'm just tired watching these scrambles. You and me both, buddy. I think in our hour roles that we have together, that happens once and then we both stop. because we're both old at this point. So we both just kind of figure out, you know what, not worth it. Nah, not trying to keep up that pace for an hour-long marathon roll. No thanks. Which, by the way, Jace, are you doing the ADCC Open out here? It's coming up January 20th. It'll be very interesting to see all of our friends who are competing in that, and I'm very excited for a number of them to get opportunities to go do their thing. Woo! And we're right back to it, and Reese still looking for the back. You would think he would have had it. What's up, Amanda? By the way, Amanda in the chat section right now, she has an interview that just went up, so we will have to put up a clip in the next day or so. But her interview is fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. And it's very nice to have her joining us. Although Esteban does not look at all concerned. That is a bad opportunity to either get a neck crank or a rear naked choke applied. And yet, dude is looking super calm. This is a big thing for Reese, especially if he's coming in as a last minute replacement. He's putting the pressure on Esteban, who maybe his face doesn't sell it, but now there's a very solid attack that gets reversed, and Esteban is now working from inside of an open guard of Reese. What a freaking series of exchanges, my friends. This is intense. And again, my thanks to all of you who are joining in. What's up, Train Angry? The Roastmaster General himself, Train Angry, joining us. I think he's going to have a busy night of watching the action going along. I mean, he's already had a busy week, if you think about it. Trying to keep Gordon accountable for pulling out, once again, no more Gordon matches for 2023. We have to put that into new business. So that's not going to happen until 2024. And then who knows what happens there. Also, it's an ADCC year, so yikes. Anyway, we watched the action unfold before us. There is almost less than 4 minutes, but Reese is keeping up a very nice pace with Esteban, and you have to consider that he has to be the aggressor, at least in terms of submission attacks. The difficulty here is just trying to get a hold of, like, Esteban still looks pretty good. He's in a triangle now. It looks like it's moving around. I see a note here, and I'll go ahead and bring it up to our main section, and it is from Dr. Lourdes, Dr. Lewis, who says, "Hi, dude. Hello. Where can we watch Hi here?" Well, it sounds like you've already partaken in marijuana. So I think what you meant to say or ask is, where can we watch these matches? There's this one and one more that is available on YouTube, and then it goes behind the Flow Grappling paywall. I won't be showing any of it, but if you want to watch along, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to pay for it, then stick around, and I'll at least give you play-by-play, like it's the audio listening to the World Series back in the 1930s. So what's up, Matthew? It's good to see you, man. It's been a minute. But yes, that is the answer to the question that I have for you right now. So thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm high. Never a bigger direct hit on the broadcast. Oh God, that's wonderful. Thank you, and I appreciate that. And you just said, and I'm Brazil. Well, now I'm making fun of people, and I don't like making fun of people in that way. JKK, right. Okay. No, I appreciate you. Well, thank you very much for joining along with us. Thanks, man. And thank you. Who do I have, Mika or Cody? These are questions that get me incriminated and do not get me interviews. But if I'm a gambling person, and I am, I love knowing the odds, I would tell you this. Mika should have an advantage, but Cody's been on the show before, so I'm probably going for the guy who's been on the show before. If Mika came on the show before, might be a different situation, but you know, until he comes on, I'm not necessarily Team Micah just yet. But there is that. What's up, Bougie Gatami? Friend of the show and social media clip content curator extraordinaire, Bujigatami. Now, I mean, listen, Esteban's coming back and maybe rallying at this point. He's working on a guillotine that's not quite there. His leg's a little bit trapped, but it was valid enough to at least continue starting to work from mount, and he's going to lose it trying to grab onto a leg, and then saying, fuck it, I'm going to just try and berimbolo from underneath here. Could be a calf slicer if he plays it correctly. But I think that Esteban's the person that actually sees the most submission attempts fly by him. This comment says, Mika action? I don't know how to answer that one. He hasn't gone yet. He goes once the main card is up. But you could also be asking, does he have an action figure? Not that I'm aware of. Will he be in action later? Yes. Does he do action? No, I think he's more of a rom-com guy. So there is that. But we will try to keep you updated on that. What's up, Alexandre? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you guys who are watching along with us today. Ooh, could be a leg lock here, could be a foot lock, but the leg is too south. And I mean, here's the other thing. Esteban has kind of short legs, so attacking that can be very difficult. There could be a crotch ripper here. Everybody's just grabbing onto a leg and just hoping for the best at this point. Esteban was looking for a toe hold, but instead is continuing to just throw his entire body and self at his opponent in the hopes that might lock something up. What's up, Doreen? You don't have to tell me who it is. I know who you are. It is good to see you, and I wish you a very happy holiday this season. It has been too long. I'm glad that you're able to join us this evening and watch along. It is a pleasure to see you. By the way, new merch is coming. I should say that. We're gonna have new t-shirts and all that sort of stuff coming out very soon. Maybe sweatshirts. We're in the process of talking with some folks, but thank you so much. You know what, Doreen, I see the like that you just gave us right now, so here's a little hint for you guys in the social media stratosphere. If you give us a like and subscribe or a share, we give you a toast on air, and this toast is going on out to Doreen McLean. Doreen is perhaps one of the kindest people in jiu-jitsu. She is not only the mom of one of the most prominent people within our sport, Senor Kyle Chambers, but she is also a badass in her own right, and I love the fact that she got time to shine on the Who's Next series when she got all the props that she so rightfully deserves, and it is always an honor and a pleasure when she joins us on the show. Doreen, much love. And I love the fact that she owns the fact, like, Jit's mom, 10, belongs to her. Like, no one else is going to get that. So, you got that going on. Congratulations. They are now going to go on over to Reese, who did get the win via decision. I will try not to make this too loud, but we will be playing some of the audio. And apparently this was his first time competing. And they need to wipe down this camera because I can see all the spots on it. I think it's come from all the sweat on it. And it does look like you're hearing a few words over here from Kendall, who's trying to get a word in edgewise, but I think that this dude is rightfully exhausted. He did put in a very, very, very good thing here. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. I appreciate that. What is Kunta Moreno? Thank you for joining us. So is Reese like Irish or something? Because I'm either hearing him so out of breath or like a strong accent, so that he's so out of breath he's suddenly become way more foreign. I can't really get to the bottom of it, but we will continue to watch. Again, ladies and gents, there is one more free prelim that is on the docket, and then they go to their actual paywall portion of the show. So just to let you know, that is what is coming up over here for the folks over at Flow Grappling. That is how they make their monies. They ask you to do the year-long subscription, though. If you go to other places, you can do it. The hashtag is who number 121 fans. That's a terrible hashtag. Jesus Christ. You know what? I think we should. I wish Instagram was better about showing you the lifetime results. They change all these algorithms and stuff, but back in the day, you could see if anybody was using the hashtag who number 121 fans, which is, it's absurd. Oh my goodness. I wonder who is using that. But I would like to see it. I'd like to see if people have utilized that sort of a thing. So, thank you. Of course, it's always best to give some props. Okay. We also have a rule on the show, which is we give toast to those who get finishes within regulation. So there was one submission finish. I think there was one before that as well. So we're going to keep that on the docket. But coming up next, we have Owen Jones and Dominic Mejia, which I don't know if you guys were watching some of the prelims or the press conference. I know I didn't, but I did see the clip on the social media that they were plugging for it. And on there was a little bit of chirping back and forth, and I've seen Mejia kind of say, like, hey, he doesn't mind talking a little bit of smack. It's kind of weird because I don't really interpret it as a ton of smack, but I will say if you're going to chirp at anybody from B team, you really have to be at the top of your game. Owen Jones, who is already qualified for ADCC, was told in the presser by Dominic that he got one of the easier trials to win. I'm not here to tell you yes or no to any of that. I'm just letting you know that that was the claim that was put out there. So if Dominic wanted to get some attention in this match, he definitely did. So there is that. Does that matter though? Not really. Because Jones at a certain point just goes, but I am going to ADCC and you're not. And I mean, that's a decent comeback. So now we're going to see if any of that trash talk between Owen Jones and Dominic Mejia is going to pay off. This is the match. This is your final free match on YouTube. Again, watch it if you can. What is up, Timothy Thrashin? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining along. We're going to be watching here all night. I hope you'll be joining us for all of it, if not a large portion of it, but we'll take whatever you got. Dominic Mejia is working to pass the guard. Owen started with a pull of the guard, has a little bit of a knee shield, and there is immediate use of the forehead to try and pressure pass here. Nothing doing just yet. Now, you're seeing Owen try to find a little bit of an opening, keeping a decent guard here, but his legs, you know, I think it's a very loose kind of half guard that's happening at this. And anybody who has that kind of loose half guard, in my opinion, does it kind of as like a advertisement, like go ahead and pass my guard, see what happens. I think that is it. Timothy is asking, is it the main card? No, not yet. This is the last match and then we go to the main card. And I think there's like 5 or 6 matches on the main card. I will find that in between these matches and bouts that's up right now. I should have had that up a little bit earlier before, but I unfortunately did not. Sorry, somebody sent me something and it was very funny. Stop it. Unfortunately did not do that branding a little bit earlier, but thank you for asking. Normally I do my research on other programs, but on Who's Number One, I just go like, you know what? I'm just going to watch along. Legitimately, it feels weird to be telling you things that they're probably going to tell you on the narrative side on the main broadcast. And our thing is always, we're the alternate stream. So if you want to tune into something that's fun, you come to us. If you want to learn about this guy's best 5th grade memory, you might hear that as part of the narration they say on the stories for the actual broadcast. So we try to keep things a little bit different here. Actually, I can't promise that. There may be 0 stories on there. We don't listen to it on purpose so that we make sure we don't like say the same things. Continuous open guard use here right now thus far in. And, it's kind of weird to hear all that trash talk and to start with the guard pull is a very interesting way to go. Hey, man, if you're ever in San Diego, come stop by 10th Planet South Bay. Okay, legitimate story, I should. And I want to say, we'll see how December goes. I wouldn't be surprised if I make a visit down toward the San Diego area, but I will tell you this. I have a lot of people who have bounties on my head. And I wouldn't be surprised if they all come back trying to come for this giant dome and killing it. But I have to say, I'm very happy for our good friend PJ Barch. And we very briefly discussed the fact, because he and I have still, for whatever reason, we've yet to roll. That's on him, not me. I have shown up. We have been at the same place, same time. He has opted not to. He doesn't have to. But when I presented that fact, PJ just goes, yeah, we haven't. And right before he could utter, well, why didn't you? And I was like, you're the black belt, dude. I don't presume I should just get things like that. It's just if you want to. So we definitely have it out there, and I do want to see that place in person. So from all the social media clips, it looks great and looks like everybody gets thrown around by PJ. So there is that. Oh shit, now I'm realizing if I go there, I'm going to get clipped. Now I'm 100% going to end up on a social media reel. God damn it. All right, maybe I'm not coming. All right, now we're into business. Owen Jones looks like he was kind of at a 50-50 position, maybe advancing over to the 80-20. Nope, still looking for the leg, and we are seeing some very nice inversions here. I think Dominic was at the very least prepared for that portion. I think he knew that was part of the game plan, especially from somebody who was pulling guard ever so quickly. There's 4 minutes and change left to go here, and that means that you're probably going to see more of this. Why is it on Flow Grappling, when I go to find out more research and I look at one of their articles, the article that was posted 2 hours ago is no longer there? Good Lord. Yes. So just so you guys are aware, Gordon Ryan was supposed to be in on this in the main event. Unfortunately, he had to pull out. So there's a little bit of a switching around. Your new main event is Pedro Moreno versus, oh, God damn it. It's trying to mix me out of it. Your new main event is Lovato and Pedro Moreno. That'll be for the, I believe, light heavyweight championship. Dude, Bloody Elbows now trying to kick me out of their shit. What's up, Aoki Samitsu? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining along with the action here tonight. We are watching some Flow Grappling 21. TEZOS presents Who's Number One, etc., etc. So just to let you guys know, they look like they're actually bringing a slight pause to the action here. And I don't know if it's a stalling call or if the referee's just letting them know what the current situation is with the hostages. So it could be any one of those things. All right, we're looking over here on MMA Sucka. I'm looking to see if we can get a main card order. So we've got, yeah, this is the last one on the prelims. We're going to be working our way up. I forgot that Diogo is on this one versus Diego Pato. Giancarlo versus Lucas Hulk Barbosa. You've also got Luke Griffith versus Roosevelt Souza. Helena is going to be going on against Julia Melee. And then you've got Tainan Delpra versus Troy Russell. So Troy is a friend of the show, but we have a lot of friends who know the other AOJ standout that is happening on this card as well. So we got that. Lovato, much, much more. And of course, Mika and Cody Steele, which I think should be a banger. I wish sometimes there is a footlock here, but I don't think we're in too much danger of seeing it happening, and in fact, we are not. So right now, Mejia dives in for a guillotine, doesn't quite get it. Lucas hopes to find an opportunity to isolate a leg here. There is 2:23 left to go in this match, and I think this is where things get confusing, at least for the referee's decision. For a split second, I thought Dominic was looking for a wrist lock here. What a time. What a life. What a thought to put in that process, but does not get it. And instead, he's looking for a foot, but for a split second, he has a toe hold here, but it's not necessarily look like it has the angle. And in fact, I think Owen Jones, this is, I wouldn't say maybe the strategy he thought was coming through, but it is a result of the strategy he has implemented, which is let's go 100% legs and see what we can pull off here. And I think this is one of the odder defenses that I've seen in some time. But it looks like Dominic Mejia, to get his leg and knee line into a better place, is reverse Ace Ventura maneuvering. I don't know if you guys will know what that means, but if you've seen Ace Ventura 2, I think you might have an idea of when he goes outside of an elephant. That was just probably the best way to go ahead and describe it. You know, you're not going to get that on the main Flow broadcast. Let's be real. You're going to get that here. A knee shield here. It looks not super utilized here because I think that Dominic isn't even trying to pressure down on that knee. I think he's trying to find the options that will give him the space out. That's a very interesting reversal that just happened there. A shift of the knees took out the balance from Dominic Mejia, and now Owen Jones may have seen an opportunity to grab one of the legs here. He reaps and he loses the position, so there is that. So these opportunities come and go very quickly. Dominic Mejia in on his own leg lock. He does have a better bind, but here's the problem. Dominic Mejia is going for it, and Owen Jones is waving it off like it's not a real threat. Owen Jones looked like he was trying to allow that opportunity to happen so that he could take the back, didn't quite get it there. Now, as a result, another diving headlock, and ooh, for a split second, it looked like Owen Jones was about to take the back, has to settle for guard now, and Dominic Mejia is trying to climb over it. And I think they basically just told him, you guys are done here. And Owen Jones with the shrug emoji look. I think both of these gents not quite sure who is actually going to pull out this win here. Here's some good news that I will say. It does look like finally Flow Grappling's, at least their cameras are a little bit higher definition than they have been in the past. So I think that is one thing that we have continued to build out so that the camera quality has improved over the years. And they are calling them on over for the decision, and we will hear that out loud right now. So let's see who pulled out this win. Owen Jones picks up the win. Huh. I don't know that I hate either way, honestly. It's difficult in the sense that Dominic will have the ability to say he was pushing more of the action. Kenny, what's up, brother? I hope all is doing well down with y'all folks over at the 10P. So Owen is apologizing, saying it was a fairly boring match. Okay. Oh no. Nobody told him he lives in Texas, and not playing Pro America does not quite go very well. We didn't need a third question. We were good on that. Okay, so now he's saying he wants a title. All right. I've seen enough here. Okay, Owen Jones is your winner of that match that I think was supposed to be some kind of grudge match. It wasn't. It just, I mean, he said it up top. He did say it wasn't the most exciting match. So I feel like we can follow suit and say, you know, things happen. It's okay. The hard part is this, and let me just kind of put it out there. If you raise the level of raising the hype for a match and it doesn't quite hit that level of excitement, sometimes we just do things for doing things' sake. So I would have loved to have seen the bad blood kind of settle itself. But if anything, I'm like, yo, I think they both have qualms that they're going to be able to pull away from. So maybe that's the storyline that we see going forward. But nothing what I would consider definitive on my part here. So it looks like Flow Grappling's taking a moment to get their bearings and... Okay, so I know that I complimented Flow Grappling for having better cameras, but The camera that they have for the mats, the warm-up mats, is literal security cam footage. They literally got their ring protection membership and pulled the footage from their ring cam. The question I've had here thus far in is, haven't we gone through Bitcoin? Didn't we kind of all assume and say it was going to be exactly what we thought it was? And yet, Flow Grappling is still presented by a blockchain. This is remarkable. It's almost like when they were telling you that everybody who did this was going to get Bitcoin. I still don't know why we don't talk about that as much, but I do know that when they interview them, they're like, did you know that you get like a block Bitcoin? And they're like, thanks, dude. Yeah, it's been real rough. Need me some more blockchain. That'll help pay my rent. Cool. This gorilla collection is really exciting. Thanks. What's up, Grayson? Good to see you, young man. Anyway, we're here for the long haul. We're about to get to the main card here in a few seconds. But it does look like they're doing their promotional advertisements at the moment. So they're going through all the folks who helped them out, including Defense Soap, which I actually don't hate this commercial. It actually is one of the better ones that I've seen. Hey, Coach. Shouldn't you be training tonight? Let's see, is this thing on? You supposed to be there? Or are you taking tonight off, sir? Either way it happens. But yes, we're in the process of looking through this. Very excited to see ADCC Open is coming to California. So that's going to be in January 20th. So go check that out. And it's the gold standard in BJJ billing software. Okay. Who is it? I do love this very authentic Robert Drysdale quotation, by the way. Kicksite.com. Oh, okay. Well, good for them. That's awesome. Just finished wrestling practice. All right, good man. I like to hear that you are staying active, and very excited to see how these main event matches are going to come through. So just to let you guys know, it looks like, I think by an odd count, there's like 7 main card matches, and it is top lined by Pedro and Rafael Lovato Jr. But you've also got Mika Galvo, Cody Steele, Diego Hees, the Baby Shark, versus Diego Pato, or Pato if you would, Giancarlo Bodoni, and Lucas Hulk Barbosa, which I actually thought was supposed to be our main event, but I guess not anymore. Luke Griffith, Roosevelt Salza, Helena Crevar, and Julia Melee, and Tanine Dalpra, and Troy Russell, which I believe is going to actually kick off our main card coming up here in just a few seconds. So if I butchered their names, yes, you are right. I'm just not going to fight that one. I probably did in at least 2 of them. So hard part about doing this live, not going back there. Anyway, that's what we got going on here tonight. In the meantime, I will take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, anything I can do to walk you through this evening's programming and action. But you can tell they're 2 minutes short because they're just replaying the same promotional advertisements that played the block before it. So nothing super exciting happening there. But if you're just joining us, and I saw a handful of you are, I think it's because the free portion is now done. And you're probably looking for a free way to watch along. Unfortunately, we won't show you any footage because technically that's illegal. But what we will be doing is we'll be doing play-by-play and bringing you up to speed on all the action that's happening. What's up, Gabe Goodwin? Oh, Gabe, good to see you, brother. And it is my job, my duty, my solemn duty, to make sure that you guys are informed if you're poor. Because here's the thing. You might be poor and not able to afford Flow Grappling, or you might do it from a stance of, I don't like Flow Grappling charging this much money. Both are equally valid things. So it is up to me to give you the play-by-play so that you don't have to spend all the money to do it. Because let's be real, it's the end of the month. What else did you pay for this month that necessitates $30? Do you think this is worth $30? One could make the argument that 7 matches, $30, somewhere in the neighborhood of like what, $420 per match, if you would. Okay, maybe that's comparable. But the whole like pay for flow grappling for a year at like what, $150, it's not too exciting. No, don't like that. So I get it. I get where people come from, and I see where that's why you guys come here, because you want the information, and maybe you're just looking for a good time to hang. I'm not in charge of any of these things. I don't know what they are. Props to our good friend Troy Lives the Dream, who is competing in this match. He has a very heavy task in front of him. I don't know how to say this young man's name. Is it Tadane? Tane? I don't know. I'm always messing it up. I just opt not to. Also, Dalpera looks very focused, but Troy Lives the Dream, friend of the show, also trains with Lovato, and he has previously been on the Flow Grappling Presents Who's Number One thing. I don't love the fact that for a promotional advertisement in this one, that for Dalpera, you have him in a gi when it is a no-gi bout, but otherwise, they're right on the money both sides. Exact same height and weight, so it should be a good match. They start with the bump fist, and it is a 15-minute match. So unlike the prelims, these goes on for a little bit longer. And just to let you know, they do them in 5-minute periods. So what that means is at the end of a 5-minute period, they do a light little show akin to like a Disney light show, if you would. And they either go red or blue, and that is supposed to indicate who the judges preferred in that 5 minutes. Now, it doesn't mean they won anything. It just means we kind of like this guy right now. And the person who, in theory, gets 2 out of 3 of those, if it goes to a decision, should win. However, we've seen stupider things on this show. Apparently, they don't matter. But in theory, that's what it's supposed to do. Nicky Rod. Nonetheless, both gentlemen are still standing up right now. A little bit of jostling of position. Now, we were mentioning why this is so important for Dalpera, because this is one of his first no-gi tests. Nice little judo entry there from Dalpera. I mean, if you've watched any of his jiu-jitsu matches in the gi, you know he is incredibly accomplished, and that was a beautiful entry by him right there. Gets the takedown, now working the pass guard. There's some frames here by Troy Lives the Dream, aka Troy Russell, who's trying to keep the distance and may not be able to fully keep Dalpera from passing this guard entirely. Like, he's probably going to find his way to mount very quickly, as those frames are very, very, I wouldn't say crumbling, but as Dalpera went to north-south, there was a quick moment where Troy thought maybe he could kind of do the back take by using his legs and lifting them to go with a reversal. Doesn't quite get it. Dalpera now eases into a little bit more of a traditional side control position. Troy Russell getting over to his side, trying to bring a knee on the inside. Can't quite get it in just yet. Dalpera doing an amazing job of covering this knee line, and it's going to slowly look to go to mount, and that's when Troy makes his move. Troy is now just seconds away potentially from a north-south position. Dalpera looking like he's almost going to a reverse guillotine position, but using it to maintain the control, and this is a very viable submission. He's heading toward a head and arm, but the problem here is the angle that he has isn't currently enough for him to get that position. So we'll see if he's able to make any inroads in here. I see a note here from Rasan that says, show the fight. No. What else do you guys got for me? And it says, does anyone have a link? I don't, but if you guys talk amongst yourselves, I can't be held responsible. And a link. And see, I know what you're trying to do here. Link P. Luda. I see what you're doing. Very nice. Very nice approach here. Although when I actually read it the first time, I read it as Link Buta, which I was like, whoa, language. Be nice. Thank you. Troy is in trouble right now as Dalpera is working on a very high mount. He's isolating the arms incredibly well. And as he's doing so, he has a lot of time to work in this position. 11 minutes in this mounted position is terrible. The arms are kind of crossed and folded in front of Troy Lives the Dream, and it is very difficult to move in this position. It almost feel debilitating in this moment. And just in the second when you thought the Troy might have found a way out of it, he is kind of doing some kip ups, but they're not necessarily moving the body of Dalpa south. In fact, it's kind of reinforcing his ability to kind of stay on top and maintain this position. This is not where you want to be with a world class athlete in jiu-jitsu, gi or no gi, it doesn't matter. This is a pretty standard and classic version of jiu-jitsu that translates with or without kimono. Yeah, I think that right now you were seeing the beginnings of what could be an armbar. Troy keeping the arms very crossed in, but is now, oh, I think Dalpa is going to be able to get this armbar. Troy does tap right in the transition. That was very impressive. I have to give it to him. You know, Troy's a friend of the show. It's always hard to watch your friends not have an amazing or a spectacular performance. But I will tell you this. Dalpa's no joke, dude. His jiu-jitsu is really fun to watch. And I know that we were saying, like, yeah, I mean, he's new to this no-gi experience, so maybe he might not be there just yet. But that was a good display of how he can basically bridge those two things together. So my thanks to you for joining Secret Jiu-Jitsu Club. Appreciate you. It's always nice to see friends joining us in the chat. And unfortunate day. What's up, Zach? Good to see you guys. We're watching ourselves some Flow Grappling presents, TEZOS presents Who's Number One, presented by the Grappling Hour. Technically, we didn't pay for anything, but I'd like to say that we gifted and donated our time. That's a thing, right? Yeah, we could say that. What's that? Oh, legally we can't? Yikes. Okay. Well, who cares? All right, we're going to see what Dalpa has to say, and I'm going to bastardize his name until I hear how Kendall says his name to him. Here we go. And notice they cheated too. They said a word with our winner, so they're not confident in the way they pronounce it either. Just saying. It's a terrible angle of Rafa, by the way. So they refer to him as Tynan. My apologies for bastardizing his name. So he's not quite sure what he's going to do next, but he definitely wants to sit down with his team and kind of figure out what the next progression is. Mm-hmm. So he's acknowledging the fact that the game has changed so much and that there's kind of a difference between the gi and the no gi side. But he says he is trying to represent as much as possible, and I still see the droplets on this camera. I know that some of it is as a result of the light shining, but I'm fairly certain those are. Yeah, I think those are just spots. I think they just didn't clean the lens. So he's saying, you know, he wants to be the fighter that does both gi and no gi. So I can admire that. Good on him. And he says that he will not be competing at Worlds. But he is going to be staying active otherwise. So it looks like they're doing another Who's Number One in February, and he just made his pitch to be on that one. Okay, let's just say this real quick. I have a lot of respect for Tynan, but we really can do better on one, producing these interview segments. And athletes, I beg of you, if they're setting you up and saying, who would you like to face next? It is an incredibly boring answer not to have somebody in mind. It's just like, I get it. Nobody wants to be called out. Nobody wants to shake or ruffle feathers. But you did just ask to be on a card in February. So it would stand that if you want to be on the card in February, how about even saying, I don't care who you've got for me. Give me somebody in February. I want to come back. I want to get this bread. Like, make me excited to see you come back. When you deflect the answer or the question, it becomes harder to be immersed and say, like, I got to see that. And I'm not asking people to go out of their way to be Conor McGregor or, like go out of who their personality is. It's just, that's a lot of dead air time that I kind of want to see people show themselves, their passion, who they are when they get that opportunity to introduce themselves to a main audience. So that's all I'm saying. Although for Tadine, he's awesome, a very, very good guy. Kendall works very hard, all good. It's just these are the things that if I have to give constructive criticism as a regular TV watcher and also interviewer and also TV producer, that's the stuff we're looking for. So we just all want this to grow. You know, I have to say this. Helena's, like, her rash guard is dope. There's like caution tape around it. They're always fun. They always stand out. They're always a bright color. Kudos to her, man. She's super good at doing this. And is it Krevar or Kravar? I think it's Krevar. I don't know. I'm always wrong on these. And then Julia Malay. So very excited to see these two go to work. My thanks to you for tuning in. My name is Rafa Esparza, and you are watching the Grappling Hour Watches. Flow Grappling presents TEZOS presents Who's Number One. So my thanks to you guys. And we already start off with an immediate guard pull. A fun story. I recently interviewed Mo Black and asked her about her match with Helena, and she had a very, very, I think, realistic kind of depiction and interpretation of how that match went. So that will be available very, very soon for everybody there. And I did see somebody put something somewhere that I can't say maybe you guys should look at, but I will tell you something does exist on something somewhere. So just saying. All right, looking at this. Woo, that is a great grip and a great deadlift. Jesus Christ. And it did the job, because right now Helena's looking at a heel hook and does not quite take it, but it definitely left that leg exposed for a prolonged period of time. That was a very, very clever thing for Helena to do. Most people would probably let go of that position, let go of that because they're starting to get deadlifted up, but she actually kept the position on for a long period of time, kind of came down on the slam, and then immediately looked for a grip on the leg. Woo! Every one of these transitions I see from Helena, I just think they're a kill shot, and that is a heel hook potential here. I don't love the way that Julia is escaping, but she is keeping a knee line somewhat safe for the moment. And Helena, I think, may have, I can't tell if she let the position go, but she's rechambering it and working on a tighter grip on it. There's a slight looseness to it, but I'm not going to basically mock what is happening here, which is that Helena is putting in a very good series of efforts and attacking the legs, and Julia looked like she was kind of smiling it off as the referee returns them back to the center of the mats. Interesting. All right. We see the game is afoot now. So 12 minutes, 49 seconds left to go here. My thanks to you for watching along. This was an anticipated match. I mean, anytime you see Helena competing, you kind of are intrigued to see what she's doing, training over with New Wave. She already has a story about her, and she's so young, and yet I think there's something very, very captivating about her. She knows how to kind of draw attention. She knows how to be very good at what she's doing. And just the thought of like, what do her and Danaher talk about? What do her and the team do? And yet she's been proving a very, very apt student for that team as she's now working to pass guard. And they just did a shot. I think that's Gordon that they just shot from behind. So I think they're now letting Gordon take lead chair while Danaher takes kind of a step back. Danaher recently said that Gordon knows more jiu-jitsu than him, or at least more about jiu-jitsu than he does, which I found to be a very awkward statement because I'm not even sure he believes that one. I'm pretty sure he's like, no, I know more, but this dude's really good. I would be intrigued to hear what Gordon has to say about it because Danaher's like the one guy he doesn't cut promos on. Like even Gary, on occasion, he'll say some dumb shit too. But Danaher's the person that he's not sitting there and be like, well, actually, John still knows more than me. That's a very solid heel hook, actually, right now that we're at. It has gotten way closer here. This is... Ooh, she rechambers. She lets it go and comes up on it. Now she's going to let Julia play up top and see if she can work from an open guard underneath. Okay. This is intriguing for a number of reasons here, but it's kind of an X guard. There is a reap that is happening right now. It gets rejected, pushed down. I also have to say, every time Helena comes in, I want to call these like Punky Brewster-esque hair that she has. Like, she's somebody who understands exactly how to stand out in a way that is incredibly effective. Both ladies stand back up, return back to the center of the mats, and here we go. Bump fist, and we're back at action. My thanks to you for watching along, you guys. You are incredibly dedicated jiu-jitsu practitioners. I sometimes still can't fathom how we all decide to give up an entire Thursday to watch this, but I guess the truth is you weren't going to be watching football anyway, right? I'm just guessing here. I don't think you guys were going to be watching this match. There was a triangle. It got let go. This should be the first 5-minute period, and you will likely see a red light going off now. There you go. You do see the red light. An attempt at a reap. Nothing doing there. And we are seeing Helena, nope, loses the grip on the foot. Decides maybe to come up on it to attack. And these ladies have been going at it now for just over 5 minutes. It is a very interesting match thus far in. Helena's definitely been on an onslaught of throwing things at it, but Julia hasn't really taken any of the bait just yet. She's looked like every time that Helena's come close on getting a very good grip, very easily kind of slipping out of it. There's a hold here. It's loose as they go into the Flow Grappling banner. I think that's where the judges are, by the way. Could be wrong. All right. Referee's going to return them back to center, and now they were supposed to... I couldn't tell if they were just being put in that position or if they had to stand up. But an immediate pull to guard over here by Helena, looking for the leg to be given to her. What's up, Angel? Good to see you. The other thing to note here is Helena's flexibility is such a incredible asset to have. Like, the way that she moves, and even when her opponents look like they're getting the better of her for a split second, that's a very good entry. That might be enough. Although Julia was blocking the reap leg with her hand, she did a very good job here. Now is returning with her own kind of guard. That's excellent to see her. Good to see you as well, Coach. Appreciate you, my man. There's another toe hold here. And this one does look a little bit better. I think Julia is... I wouldn't say she's short on time, but the angle I think she opted to use it very nicely as to almost as a pressure pass. And Helena just kind of returns to a little bit more of a traditional half guard here. But yikes. Nope. Now to full guard. They're going to stop the action and bring him right back to the center. Yikes. Jesus. All right. So here's something that I have in terms of. This isn't necessarily a complaint about flow grappling. It's kind of a what do we do here? We're clearly at a point in this match where you get the sense that this could go the distance. Not saying it will. We certainly have things that could happen in the next few minutes. But it's always weird the incentives that we have in this game. I want somebody to do a study of how many matches have gone the distance and how many have gone to submissions, because I wonder if some of the submissions have come as a result of intentional mismatches so that you get the result of a finish. But more often than not, especially in the big marquee matches, for whatever reason, you're just not seeing a submission. And you could chalk that up to statistically, great, maybe the people are evenly matched, and that's a good sign. But in terms of this is not the only match here that has kind of been like this. We have fortunately had some submission finishes today. But it does stand to ask a few questions about the 15 minutes, because there's something about 15 minutes for this format and rule set I can't put my finger on. And I almost wonder if the people who watch this have issue with either IBJJF or EBI, because there is no perfect rule set. And I think we're still trying to find a way to make this all entertaining. Somebody recently put up, I think it was our good friend Chris Wojcik, who put up his, it's not a meme, but it might as well be a meme. And it was a series of jokes about why jiu-jitsu isn't more popular. And one of them is just, we don't have a unified rule set. If you had to ask, the rule set that's unified comes down to those three things: EBI, IBJJF, and ADCC. And you think ADCC is the most popular, but the most replicated one is EBI. And yet, the purest one, to some, is IBJJF, because there's points, which at the very least gives us in and out. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of these matches where it almost feels like you go an entire series between this and Esteban's match, and it's almost like you see every position in jiu-jitsu, and yet you feel like you didn't travel anywhere. So I could be wrong. I'm just thinking out loud. Helena looking for leg exposure once again. She does bend it. She may not have it fully as Julia's slipping out the leg. Helena comes up on top, looking to pass. I think that was another preference from the judges for Helena. So she has gotten 2 out of 3 of those thus far in. It's almost safe to say, if this goes to a decision, she is going to pick up the win, but she is quickly looking for something on the leg. She is continuing to at least try to finish here. But I think Julia has been in just constant, not even full danger, but just on the defensive entirely throughout this match. And Helena has lost so many grips. And that could be attributed to how well Julia is both moving and recognizes the positions. So it's a very, I don't know what's wrong with this. I don't know how to incentivize this or fix it in this way, but I think it's worth discussing given the amount of times I have tuned into Flow Grappling's Who's Number One and been like, why does this feel weird? Good sweep there. Like that. Kind of on the inside tripod, kind of a sweep. Helena looking on over, grabs one of the legs as she looks like she's going inside of the guard, pushes it down, maybe signs off on a toe hold, doesn't get it. Instead, continues to pass the guard, gets her pressure on top of Julia. And this is probably one of the more classic guard passes to side controls that we've seen in this match thus far in. Nice little passing of guard here. Now Helena may be closer to actually getting some kind of finish here. She's working to find a grip to attack the back. She has gripped one of the arms, trying to pull it out, pry it away from her. And from here, she may have uploaded the arm to an ability to offset it now. So we're definitely looking at something here that's a little bit more enticing to watch. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that means. Tana, Helena, ha. I'm so sorry. She is winning, yes. And this is a solid head and arm choke that Julia just might be kind of gassed or exhausted from. Because, I mean, that's a lot of jiu-jitsu you've been through in the past 13 minutes. Helena now kind of working on a little bit of the crank, switches the position. Hands are in a slightly different manner here. And she could wear down Julia from this position. This is a very exhausting position to be in. And there's almost a triangle that's opening itself up here. And I think Helena just saw that opportunity, switches to kind of that mounted triangle. Julia, maybe with one last push, is going to try and make some motion to get out of it. But she is definitely stuck in this position. There's an attempt here to kind of sneak through the back door. She's grabbing one of the legs to try and move it around. What's up, Yancey Martin? And she's out, but maybe now in a footlock here. Helena looks maybe to reap. Let me see. What's up, bro? It's Demetrius Brown. I just got my blue belt this month. Well, congratulations to you. Hey, listen, dude. I can't wait for you to not be a part of this sport anymore. Everybody knows the blue belt is the belt where you just go away for a bit. All good. No, a sincere congratulations. Normally, I have a certain rule set, which is you have to like, share, and subscribe to the show before you get a cheers. But you getting a blue belt is cheers worthy. So we're going to do this for you, my man. While we wait for the last couple seconds here to kind of go down. Nope, no submission still. To our guy, IH, congratulations on your blue belt. Really happy to hear about it. I hope you continued success in your jiu-jitsu journey and that you learn to abuse a white belt because that's the way it goes. Cheers to you, my man. You should also know that you have a target on your head, whether you know it or not. It's just what happens. Legitimately, the minute they handed me a blue belt, I had murderer's row of friends being like, I'm so happy for you. Give me your leg. So that is what you have to look forward to. But I appreciate you for sticking with it. And I hope good things come for you, my man. All right. Well, we finished that 15-minute journey, of which Helena will incredibly likely be named your winner, bearing any major malfunctions by the Flow Grappling judging team. Julia, though, proved very apt for getting out of those positions. It's just very odd. What's up, Bam? It's Jenny. Thank you for watching along. We appreciate you guys. I think Helena's about to be interviewed here in a second. But they are doing some replays of her best work from today, which was pretty good. It says, thanks. Man, let's go today. Well, he had a very good day, so we don't have to go far. That dude won. We should bring this up. Okay, I thank you for actually giving this prompt. This will get me to my thought process while we wait for Helena to get her interview. We should do this more in the sport. I don't mind people yelling out, let's go. I just think if you've won the match or the fight, I see a lot of people in combat sports, like they win something, they get a knockout, a submission, they yell, let's go. And I go, you did the thing. You have to stop here. If we reintroduce you into society and you're still at, let's go, that's when people get murdered. So I think maybe take it down a notch. If you've won a fight or a match, you get one let's go. That's it. But here we go. So now Kendall's asking what did it feel like to beat somebody who's been at ADCC before? I don't understand how she is so smiley. Like, I don't understand how Gordon, Gary, and Danaher have not sucked the like life and happiness out of her. So Kendall just asked, "Would you like a title shot?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, why not? You giving one?" What's up, JGYBES? All right, Helena looked very, very solid, chaining those attacks together. Very happy for her. There we go. Okay, that should bring us up to speed now. Let's get back to where we are here. I didn't know they went already. Yes, he did go already, and he looked great. Got a submission win, kind of like an armbar from a guard transition here. And then you've got Griffith versus Souza coming up right now. And again, this does go against my rule, which is listen, if it's a no gi bout, make them both in no gi. Don't give me a gi photo. These things, it's so weird whenever they have these photos like this. It's just, I don't think it's too much to ask. Even when we have people from MMA crossover into boxing, you don't see them with like MMA gloves on. You see them with boxing gloves on. And I know time be hard to get people together and do things. Lord knows I think they want the version of it. But even if it's as simple as, hey bro, can you take the gi off real quick? We're trying to do a thing. It's so annoying. And I know they only have them there for a limited amount of time. Blah 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 blah. All those things. It's just, it's a small pet peeve of mine. So anyway, how is the bald eagle doing here, sir? And Yancey Martin, how are you doing today? I hope that things are going well for everybody here in the comment section as we get a look into the security guard footage of everybody still doing their best to get through the day, as you can see here. All right, my thanks to you guys who are watching at all different spots. This thing is being broadcast on all of our major channels. If you like us here and you want to get a toast, just like we do those who get finishes within regulation, all we ask is that you like, share, and comment on this broadcast. So give it a share somewhere, wherever you want to. Tag us in it. Send us a photo of it. I will do a toast to you because your guys' love and appreciation always goes very far for us here on the broadcast, and it does mean the world to us if you can give us some love. So I would very much appreciate it if you guys wouldn't mind giving us some comments or likes or, whatevs. Whatever you got, I think we'll take is the moral of the story here. But yes, we are very, very excited to watch the next few matches that are coming up here. I believe, let me see where we left off on this one. That was the second match. Yes, we're at Luke Griffith versus Roosevelt Souza. And, I don't know what to think of this one. I'm not sure where we're at on it or what we're feeling. But I see Helena. Yep, Helena. Don't know what the second word is, but I will take your word for it. Danielle. But Helena looked really good tonight. She was very impressive with the way that she combines her stuff. She's got a winning personality too. Like, I could say this, at least when she is on air, she is making use of her time. So I have an appreciation of that approach that she has. Like, when she gets on the air, she looks super sweet, super nice. You get a sense of her personality. And as I was saying, maybe a few seconds beforehand, it was like, being around Gordon has to be bad for the quality of life, just in terms of how much he's complaining. And Gary too, complaining all the time, being like, what's the deal with, and then whatever it is that day. My favorite thing is that Gary has reached the part in his combat sports life where I think he's previewing a turn to stand-up comedian. So I'll see him be like, I really hate the way that these broads do this thing. And do you guys even notice this? And you go, it sounds like a soft Jerry Seinfeld setup. What are you bitching about, Gary? What's the issue today? So we love to give Gary shit. It's been a while since we chatted with him. I think next time we speak with him in person, we will definitely bring that up to him. In case some of you were wondering, like, hey, did you hear what Raph said about you? Be like, Gary's like, yeah, I'm sure he did say it. I have no contention. Raph hates me. I hate him. We're good. All right, where are we at? All right, Luke Griffith, Souza. This is such an interesting thing. I do like the fact that we are seeing a few more audience members here on this nice Thursday. So that is good to see. What is up, Curtis Clark? I like that you came in hot. You came in wanting to start a party, and listen, I'm here for it. You started off with a real heavy, hey. Let me see what it is in your preview. Use your internet powers only for good is what that says. It's a good mantra to have. I like that. I'm not sure I always use my internet powers for good. I'd like to think I do. But every time a hero thinks they're the hero, sometimes they're the villain in somebody else's origin story. So it's hard to determine that. But yeah, I try to use it for good, I think. We'll see. Society will tell us. Curtis, what match are you most excited to see here today? Are you excited to see Griffith versus Souza and Nagi? You know what? New rule. Here's the rule. If you appear in a gi, in a no-gi match, you have to wear the gi. That's the rule. I don't want to see your preview photo of you in a gi. You're stuck with whatever the preview gear is. So if you come in a gi, you're coming out in the gi for your no-gi match. That's it. And they can use that gi against you. Unlike ADCC, which I don't understand. In their rule set, they're like, you know what you can do? You can wear a gi. I'm like, dude, that sounds fucking insane. Who would wear a gi? But you know what? Maybe I'll do it because I could use it to choke them. Now, granted, they could use it to choke me. Actually, no, you can't do that. Can't use the gi. Then what is the purpose of wearing the gi? It's almost like you're telling me it's for show. Come on, guys. Some of these things aren't hard. We don't have to make them that hard. I'm just saying. You're most excited for the main event. I think I understand that one. You love Lovato Jr. So do we. As we call him here on the show, the other Raphael. Imagine sharing a name with that guy. They have a different gi photo of him? That's 2 gi photos of Souza. You get one. That's it. That's it. He has to wear the gi in the match. That's the rule. Done. Anyway, we're happy you're here. And yes, Rafael Lovato Jr., the legend continues. Every time I think that dude is done, he's got like 15 more matches in him. And he's a hell of a role. I can say that. I am sorry that was so loud, my friends. That's how you know. I need to silence these things. I feel like such a boomer leaving my message notifications there. You know what? Too late to fix it. We're in the middle of a match. And I just switched to a no-gi only gym. What are your thoughts on gi versus no-gi? I think you should train both. I have a preference in that I like training no-gi more, but I think it's good to train both. I don't understand why people don't train more on the both side. I think the hard part is sometimes you train in waves. Like you really get into going, oh, I'm really in no gi right now. And then sometimes you go, you know what, I'm really feeling the gi. I think as I really get older, because I'm like kind of old now, but I'm gonna get real old soon. I think as I get really older, I will probably feel like training more in the gi. But for right now, I feel like a lot of momentum on my side in training no gi. So I'm trying to ride that momentum. And we have a lot of friends who are doing competitions that are a little bit more no-gi specific. But I would just recommend doing both. If you are only at a no-gi gym, though, that's not a bad thing. Dude, I've got friends who have no-gi only gyms, and I teach at a no-gi only gym. I'm a student at a no-gi only gym. I think it's really good. And speaking of really good, Roosevelt Salza was looking to isolate the leg here. He does have it. He did maybe look at it in transition. Luke Griffith has to work, and he does, and continues pressing on with some good pressure. I want to bring this up, though, and I'm not sure everybody's been talking about this, but has anybody looked at the thing? Oh, Luke Griffith might have just put himself into a triangle, but fortunately, I think it was with enough time where Roosevelt didn't have enough energy or recognition or space to get it. But Roosevelt really looking at that leg of Luke Griffith. You just get the impression of the people that Luke Griffith trains with probably prepare him very, very adequately for that. So I'm not sure that you get in on that. And it says, I'm a white belt. I just started taking 6 a.m. classes twice a week like 3 months ago. Curtis, that's amazing. That's how it starts. Build that. It doesn't matter where you're training. Oh, God, I just dropped my earbud. Uh-oh. All right. Sorry to people on Instagram. 1 second. All right, and we're back. Here's what I can say. Keep that momentum going. Keep training at 6 a.m. 6 a.m.ers are fucking dedicated people. And build that momentum, man. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Doesn't matter if you're a white belt, black belt, whatever it is. You just keep going. Nice little sweep there by Roosevelt. Now, this is an interesting aspect here because it does look like Roosevelt has been more active, even though Luke is in on a better position here on a heel hook. That does look like it does have Roosevelt in some trouble as he does tap. Wow, what a moment there. The mustachioed one. Luke Griffith does pull up a win here. But this did bring up a good point because up until there, Roosevelt looked very good and very at home in this gi setting, or I'm sorry, this no gi setting. He looked very comfortable there. But I think that one of the things that people forget is there's so much that translates, even if it's not a perfect overlap between the two. You can still find a way to make your game work in both things. There are some days, especially if I train both on a given day, I try to come up with things that I think are universal. And my favorite thing used to do was to train no-gi first, then gi later in the day. Because if I tried something in no-gi, I loved being able to say like, damn, I really wish I had a collar grip. And then I'd go to training that night and I'd have it. But it would force my brain to be creative to work up with something else. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, my man. I love hearing stuff like that. That makes me so, so happy. And it takes me back to when I started. It says, I just wanted a break. My fingers were killing me. Now, that's the real thing that people do bring up and that I completely understand. We're going to take a moment here to hear what Luke has to say. And if he doesn't credit the win to his mustache, I feel like this is a waste of space. Every one of the people who's gotten a test coin is like, so Luke Griffiths says that he wanted to try something new today. He wanted to show a little bit more top pressure because people are used to him just pulling guard and playing from bottom. Luke Griffith says, "Hey, if people are looking at me, I'm every woman. I can play all positions." So Luke Griffith is trying to call out Craig Jones. I can only assume that that means that Craig Jones will roast him into oblivion. Okay, there is that. Let's get back to your notes, comments, questions, concerns. Yes, you mentioned wanting to take a break because your fingers were killing you. That can be very helpful. The hard thing is this, though: if you ruin the momentum for too long, your fingers do build up a callus of some sort. So, is that the same photo they used the last time for the hashtag share who number one fans? So their hashtag is hashtag WNO21 fans. Like, it's just, we want specifically the fans to show that they're watching because we have no Nielsen metrics that show how many people watch because we're a niche sport. And if we do, we never release those numbers. You ever notice that? We never talk about how many people watch a certain thing. But we say things are going well. Just curious. Link, nope. Predictions for this match. Wait, I mean that one just ended, so I don't. Shit's over. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, bro, what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna go on record and say the person who lost won. Like, get out of here. Although I have been known to go vote on people's polls for the UFC, and they're like, "Who you got?" And the next day, I'm like, "Well, the winner." That's your dumb fault for keeping your poll up for way too long. All right, so this is the match we were supposed to see with Gordon, but instead we're seeing it at mid-card status. So it's Luke Barbosa versus Giancarlo Bodoni. I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. I would love to see Giancarlo pull off a win here. However, he is a last-minute replacement for his teammate, one Gordon. Ouch, my tummy. Ryan. The hard part is this: Giancarlo is an ADCC winner. So we're not just going with just anybody here. They didn't just find some bum on the street. They have a very, very comparable person. And you said here that Mika fight is going to be great as well. Absolutely. Cody Steele taking a short little sabbatical from his fight game to come entertain us mere mortals and goons here in the jiu-jitsu landscape. And Lucas Barbosa walking out with all of the dry ice that Texas can afford. And at first I thought he was wearing a championship belt, but oh no, that belt is mostly a design that is on his rash guard. Make him akin to many a pro wrestling fan that goes to live events. Or at least, I don't know, we'll get into that in a second. But 5'11, 5'10, 210 versus 207 on the tail of the tape. And one, Giancarlo is just 3 years the younger side of one Lucas Barbosa, who doesn't look a day over 32. B Cruz, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining along with us. We are watching us some Who's Number One. And it says, I don't know if you know much about sports betting, but I have Barbosa to win at underdog odds. Very interesting. Well, here's one thing I know about having been around Lucas Barbosa in person is that you probably don't want to mention those odds to him in person. Just saying. Other than that, I'm sure he's a lovely human being. Who do you think is going to win? Honestly, I would love to see Giancarlo win. Giancarlo also has been on the show before, and we just kind of have a general preference for those who have been on the show before to win. Because normally our stance is we're rooting for whoever is going to come on the show or who has been on the show. And Giancarlo's been on the show. I consider him a friend of the show. So is that. You just asked, you can gamble on jiu-jitsu. You can gamble on a lot of things. Yes. This is America, my friend. You can gamble on almost anything you put into existence. You can gamble on how long the national anthem is sung at the Super Bowl. You can gamble on the NBA, NFL, even pro wrestling. Yes, one of my friends hit me up and said, "Is this a good bet to take in pro wrestling?" And I said, "What are you doing with your money? And if you're willing to spend it like that, give it to me." But let me add some caution in the world of jiu-jitsu. If you find yourself able to guess these things very well, by all means. I don't think we have the ecosystem where people are actually coming up with very smart betting odds. I have seen betting odds for jiu-jitsu in the past, and I said, no, I'm not spending any of my money on this. This seems ridiculous. Because sometimes it's almost impossible to know every grappler in the world. Believe me, I try. We try to bring on so many on this show. We have a working definition of many grapplers here. Having said that, like, don't waste your money. You know, this isn't like the UFC, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Put the money down. And you're talking to an obsessive, compulsive gambler. Like, I love gambling. I always want to know the odds. But having said that, right now, if you're looking at your money, before we get any further, you're betting on Lucas Barbosa pulling off a win where it's kind of been a little bit of wrestling back and forth. So it's kind of been a forehead battle that he may subjectively win or lose based off of the judges deciding if his forehead movement is better than the other forehead movement in what we call jiu-jitsu wrestling. Now, having said that, Giancarlo is a legitimately good wrestler in his own right. It's just, it doesn't seem like a very safe or smart bet because this could go one of two different ways. Though I should point this out, Giancarlo did pass up an opportunity to come train with me once. So maybe I need to root against him. But I'm not doing that today. That day is not today. So there you go. And it says, didn't these guys go against each other multiple times? I don't know about the multiple times, but let's just say yes. And it says, yeah, only on specific cards. Thank God. I'm glad somebody here has some common sense. And it says on wrestling, that's crazy. Yes, absolutely on wrestling. You can bet on it. And I've heard in the past that people have bet on outcomes and storylines and all that sort of stuff. Like if you ever see it, it's not just DraftKings on the UFC, it's DraftKings for WWE, I think for AEW as well. I mean, listen, I'm pro every kind of gambling. I just think for jiu-jitsu, unless you see some really good odds, and then if you do, DM me and tell me what they are because I might want to get in on that action. But for you kids, no, bad, gambling, bad. Me, I can do what I want. I'm a grown adult. You kids, though, you're the future. Me, nah, I'm the past, bro. UFC Fight Passes, Invitational, and who's number one are the main ones. Nope, there have definitely been like fight to wins where you could do bet odds and would not recommend that. And it says, I love to torture myself by betting on the hardest sports in the world to predict. So that's interesting. I don't even know that this is a hard thing to predict. But what I do say is, don't bet on the things you love the most because your view will be tainted. You may have good insight, and if you're good at it, go with it. You might make a little bit of money because we don't have smart people in that way in jiu-jitsu yet. Notice I said yet. Having said that, please gamble responsibly, guys. This is a drink and gamble responsibly adult show, okay? I'm not going to tell you guys to do anything that I myself, Rafa Esparza, the host of the Grappling Hour, would do. I'm not a degenerate, and neither are you. However, again, can't emphasize this enough. Tell me what the betting odds are because I want to know. If the line's like really good, like if we're talking like plus 500 and somebody who made the odds was really, really dumb, get me that info. Also, I need to ask you this because I was on a rant. Who the fuck won the first 5 minutes? Because to me, it was the exact same thing. I didn't see who the light went on for. So if you wouldn't mind telling me in the comment section, that's the commitment I have to seeing these questions through. And it says, yes, pro wrestling is crazy. Also the best sport. So there is that. Okay. Yes, please let me know who won that first 5 minutes so that way I can judge accordingly here because it looks incredibly equal to me at this point. Okay, we might be in for. Oh, what's in my cup? Well, that's much more exciting to talk about than this match so far. Right now, I'm drinking Atmospheric Disturbance Pure Projects. It is a murky quadruple India Pale Ale. It is given to me by our good friend Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy owner, Milton Arguello, who is the namesake of this little branding right here. It's also the gym I happen to teach at, but we were about to go to a pro wrestling event, AEW's Full Gear. He looks at me, hands me this beer, and goes, "Drink this." And I go, "I'm not drinking this when we get into the car, you idiot." So I go, "I'm going to take this home and drink it later." Now, once we got to the event, I drank a lot. So, just saying. But it has been delicious and has served us very well. However, having said that, it has not made this match very interesting. What? Who said that? Not me. And it says, and I have it Barbosa plus 160 right now. I don't like those odds, but okay. And it says, you think Snane is going to be as good as he is in Gi and Nogi. He has every skill necessary to do it. I think the only area where he might run into some problems is the group of folks in Nogi who specialize in leg locks. That always seems to be a little bit of a problem for those who grow up in a very IBJJF household. You know, for points, sometimes you leave a certain balance out that can make things. Jesus Christ, Luke. Lucas Barbosa coming in. That was 100% a right cross and not a collar tie. Okay, I joked about this earlier, and I said how it was basically a forehead wrestling positional thing, but ooh, it got interesting, and then it stopped. But I could say this. I think he's an incredibly talented young man, and he's very young. So he's going to be a terror for years to come. And I like that he's at this era now where he's like, let's just do some Nogi shit and see what happens. I also want to see him get paid. Let's get our fucking athletes paid. Can we say that? Yeah, let's make that a thing. Let's get some fucking athletes paid, guys. And I'm seeing over here. Oh, I hate beer. We were getting along so well, Curtis. Do you drink? Oh, are you allowed to drink? Are you old enough to drink? Don't let me pressure you if you're not too old. If you don't like to drink, I'll give you the full thing. For years, I did not drink until I was 24 years old. So I also understand that world. And it says, and I'm from Milwaukee. Oh, yikes. You've got a lot to overcome then. And it says, yeah, honestly, I've been having more fun in your chat than watching this match. I mean, bro, I'm trying my best to make this an interesting match. Normally, I do a lot of play-by-play, but, you know, nah, I'm not going to do this. And it says he likes root beer. Fair enough. That could be a thing. I don't want to judge anybody. Like I said, I didn't drink for a long time, so I don't ever pressure our guys to have to drink anything. None of you guys answered my question, so I'd like to know if Barbosa ended up getting the red light or if Giancarlo got the blue light at the first 10 minutes. Because we're about to see another light go off, and I'd like to know if any of this has any meaning in this world. Barbosa tries for a trip, doesn't get it, stands right back up. These two gentlemen, ooh, you know what? I think Bedoni is, like, he's close on a trip here. Barbosa, as much as that was a blue light, so that one was for Giancarlo. So do you have the previous one before? Because it looked like that little trip up might have been enough. So I don't know if he won the previous version of it. Let me see here. Comments. And it says, yes, we still haven't seen anything new on that side, but yeah. Here's what you have to do at this point, kids. If you kind of see that no action has happened in 10 minutes worth of jiu-jitsu, you have to start preparing your brain to understand there may be no action that happens. What a shitty match. I'm so sorry. So let me say this. Faro22. You said more concisely, I guess, what I was saying in the past 10 minutes. You got to a little bit better than I could. Can I say this? I just feel like these matches that are 15 minutes that have no incentive just give you this kind of a match. And I don't know that I can even discount the athletes because I think they want to positionally prove they're better at wrestling. But if we put this on the wrestling only part, aka Flow Wrestling, we might be laughed out of existence because this is not how wrestling goes. I mean, just last week I watched the Iowa, the battle, whatever they call it, Battle of the Corn, Iowa attacks, whatever they do for wrestling. That shit was fucking fire, man. That was some real wrestling there. And now Lucas Barbosa trying to stuff a takedown. And it begs the question, do you give it to the person who was trying or the person who's kind of reacting? And Giancarlo, admittedly, has all the reason in the world to be tired, but I don't know that this makes or breaks the match for me. And I see here a note that says, finally a shot. Full disclosure here, if you ever watch me wrestle, it's worse than this. So just saying that. And it says, I'm from Wisco, though of course I drink. Well, then what do you drink? I'm drinking a wine cooler with too much sugar. Don't judge me. That's not how this works. You can't come here with your wine cooler like you're a real housewife of Milwaukee and then think that you're going to insult me for having an IPA. Stop it. This dude's going to be coming at me and being like, yo, have you tried a Happy Dad? No, I drink real alcohol. Thank you. I'm trying to make the best of this, guys. This is... Ooh. My other earbud fell, so I need a second to go find out where it did fall to. I don't immediately see it, and I think that's a more better use of my time at this point. Can I just say this? Both these guys are going to be very exhausted by the time they finish, and I don't know that either of them are really going to have bragging rights. The person who won this match is unfortunately Gordon, because Gordon is going to come on and talk mad shit about both of these gentlemen. Not as much Giancarlo. He's probably going to find a way to bend whatever reality it is to say that at least Giancarlo was doing something. But I mean, this has been the tale of the match. It hasn't been super exciting. It is kind of what it is, and we're all just trying to get through it, guys. There's a minute 20 or minute 10 left to go. Woof. All right, let's see where this headphone went. I'm so sorry to do this to you guys, but this is just kind of where we're at. Normally, I would take my phone to use it, but my phone is broadcasting here. Ah, I see it. What an exciting match. Oh, exciting. Oh boy, I missed a lot by going to find this, I bet. Oh no, they're still standing. Okay, cool. And it says, I don't know how Hulk was expecting to beat Gordon. Steroids, excitement. I don't know, bro. I mean, listen, dude. This is what's up, Elite Saint 23. Let me ask this, Ifaro, because I think my guys in the chat on the YouTube were, like me, too interested in literally everything else. Did Lucas win the first 5 period? And is there now an oil check that's happening? Is that going to help him win the match? Dump him. Dump him. Alabama slam him. And we've run out of time mercifully. Okay, great. Yeah, who won that first period? If you could let me know, I don't know. That was... Yikes. I mean, I felt like Giancarlo at least tried. No, you have no... Okay, all of us took a mental break on that one. Both blue. Really? Yikes. Both Bedoni. Okay, so then Giancarlo should win. Who the fuck knows? If they gave the nod to Lucas, it's so that they could keep a Gordon thing alive. It's not like Giancarlo can go up against Gordon. All right, let's hear what they have to say. Looks like we have a decision that's going to be read to us. And the referee is calling for them to come back to center of the mat. All right, Giancarlo does pick up the win and crushes the dreams of our chat, who is looking to get a Lucas Barbosa as an underdog win, though admittedly, not much to crow home about. See, this is again, kids. Listen to Uncle Raph when he tells you never bet on jiu-jitsu unless I produce an event. Here's some results. They should both do OT or something like EBI rules. They're not going to touch EBI rules. It's flow, bro. So Giancarlo very happy to get the win. Says he's trying to close up the score between their previous encounters. Giancarlo says he was his first, aka the Hulk, was his first high level opponent way back in the day. And he was training very early in his career to compete against somebody like him. Oof. Let's not say that. Kendall, we don't always love to see his wrestling. Like, not today. What's up, Jordan Jitsu? Good to see you, brother. Hope all is looking good for Subspectrum. I saw that you guys are already having dates for the 2024 year. Very excited to see what's coming up next for you guys. Ooh, Giancarlo said that he would have rather had a longer match against him, and I am. Again, he's a friend of the show. No, I'm good. Yeah, Giancarlo, you did it. All right, let's go back to your questions and your comments and your concern. It says that match was so close, anyone could have gotten the nod. Exactly, and that's why I tell you not to bet on grappling. Do you feel good that you lost that? No. Just saying. There are better ways to spend your money. Like, hold on, wait for it. Supporting this show, supporting me. Look at this. You guys can't see this, but the people over here, they can see it. My name is Ralph Esparza. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. If you want to support the show and see the interviews that I do with people 30 days before anybody else, you can go on over to hideupage/grappling hour. So for $5 a month, you could see these interviews 30 days before anybody else. And if you want to pay a few extra dollars, and I hope that you do, you could see tape breakdowns with the athletes from the UFC, LFA, Flow Grappling, even. Eh? And we do tape studies with their matches. You can also see people roasting my competition footage. And if that's not enough, we also do extra bonus episodes that aren't available anywhere else. So go on over, hideout page /grappling hour. It would mean the world to me if you support the show. And also, there's going to be merch coming up. So there's going to be some t-shirts that say the grappling hour. I think you'll like it. I hope you'll buy them because that supports the show. So that's the pitch I got for you guys. Bam, back to me. All right. Yes, that match, anybody could have gotten the nod, and there that is. So don't give your gambling money to them. Give it to me. I'm a person. Those guys, they don't see your money. Me. Will that do it? I think so. IH feels what I'm saying, though. He understands. He gets it. So that's what I got for you guys. I would love it if you guys do that. And if you can't, listen, I get it. Not everybody can afford another subscription service. It is always difficult to pay for those things. However, if you still want to support the show, there are other ways you can do that. What can you do, Raf? Well, you can go check out our Facebook page. Let me make sure this is looking okay. Yeah, that one came out okay. Go on over to Facebook at Grappling Hour, / whatever you need to do to get there. We got tons of content that comes up. We just had an interview with Amanda Levy, and it was a really good interview. We talk about her ADCC ascension, and she said some surprising shit in there that I was not expecting. So that interview just dropped today, but it was available to all my fans a month ago. Just saying, if you go to Hide a Page / Grappling Hour, you would have seen that. It's old news. You would have known that interview by heart. So there's that. All right, what do I got going on for this? I'm waiting to see wine cooler with too much sugar in it. What can you at least say the name of the wine cooler? Because the only way to continue that joke is to really get a sense of what kind of wine cooler we're talking here. All right, we have some Go Military commercials here, etc., etc. Okay, they're wiping down the mats. I think the next match is Diego and Diogo, which, by the way, their names are too similar. At that point, they really should just be doing like what they do with the Korean Zombie and just being like Baby Shark versus Diego. But look at this compelling behind the scenes shot you get there. You see actions happening, and I think that's a child that's just on the mats. Got some child labor laws out there? Oh, it's Texas. No, they don't. They have no laws. Okay, good. Good to know. And it says, I'm ashamed. I'm so sorry. MD 2020. Oh, okay. Noted. Seagram's escapes. Jesus Christ. All right, you guys. We're still going strong. We have a few more matches left in this evening. So don't go anywhere. Get yourself a beer, not a wine cooler. And continue on as we watch Flow Grappling presents TEZOS presents Who's Number One, presented by the Grappling Hour. Not legally binding. All right, let's bring out the people. Come on, guys. It is 9:12 over in the Central Time Zone. We should be closer to the main event than we currently are. I still can't. I mean, listen, I get it. I know we have a lot of matches to go through, but we still have 4 matches to do, and it's a school night, and it's 9:12 over in the Central Time Zone. So these poor people are going to be held hostage, especially if they've been going the way they've been going. So it's 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. We have 3 more matches. So 15, 15, 15, at least 45 minutes of potential showtime, plus the walkouts, plus the interviews. That's at least an hour long of production. What's up, Uncle Coach Kevin? Good to see you, man. So we're talking at least another hour's worth of production time. It says MD 2020 is radioactive waste. I mean, you're not wrong. I'll let you know that. I want to hear if this dude has a good voice. This announcer dude. I have Max Bretos. I have no idea if he has a good announcer voice. Let's find out. That's okay. I mean, there's no personality to it, but it gets the job done. So we'll go with that. What other drinks out there are radioactive trash, by the way? Sound off in the comment section below. Diego Pato making his way out first. And of course, the Baby Shark making his way there. Although these are almost dance moves, Diego. Baby Shark complete with this hat, pacing back and forth. I want to bring this up because yeah, I'm a little bored. I want to bring this up, which is these red carpets. This is not the Oscars, guys. I do not know why we're doing a red carpet for this. Is it that it's flow grappling and that's the color? That's the best logic I can get behind it, but it seems so out of place for a grappling event. Like, even if you're trying to say this is a prestige event, it reads as kind of ridiculous. All right, your ADCC dude. He's won stuff, etc., etc. He is coming out. You have to assume that he is going to be your potential odds-on favorite here. Oh Jesus! That's how you know the photo is backwards. You look at the print on it. They flipped the photo. Flip the photo again, you goons. Diego Pato waiting 0 time at all. Jumps guard. Now, trying to go for a sweep. Looks for the leg. Baby Shark indulging it. Also, I kind of like Diego's haircut here. It looks like he's all about business on that haircut. So we do have that going on. If you guys are just joining in right now, if you want to get a cheers or a toast, just like those who get finishes within regulation, and Diego is actually looking really good here against an ADCC vet, an ADCC champion, if you would. What's up, Uzomo 101? Thank you so much for watching along. I have to say this. Ooh, no. Baby Shark is in trouble right now. However, oh God, that knee does not look good to bend that way. Yeah, dude, can we please get that knee line more safe than this? There's a knee bar here. Diogo now looking for his own footlock from this position. It's not the best, not the worst. And a steam lock by Diego. Baby Shark rechambering. Has a hook underneath. Both of these gents look just absolutely insane. We're going back to a knee bar attempt here. But it was a fake out by Diego to come up and try and work to pass. I think they're probably going to move them back to the center sooner than later here, though. Oh no, looks like my earbuds for those of you on the Instagram are coming to a close. So my apologies if the sound quality gets a little bit worse. The fuck did I just kick off? If it gets better, then I did it on purpose. I can't prove that it was something I did on purpose, though. So sorry. Ooh. A very interesting reverse guard here by Pato. What's up, Coach Lobes? Good to see you. Friend of the show, Michael Frosto. One of the best human beings on earth. And the owner. Woo! Diego is coming with a vengeance right now, just with a death wish. And now they have rolled out of bounds. Yikes. Okay, can I say this? The criticism that I had earlier about some of these matches not being super exciting, this is at least making up for that. So this is a good placement on the card. I wish they were more like wrestling cards. When you go to a pro wrestling show, they start off with a hot fire match up top. Then they cool it down. Then they bring it back up. They do levels. Here, it feels like we had to wait to get this kind of a match. Like, this is a fire match. This is almost the way you want to start the night. So that way you can make your way through it. What's up, Strength, Body, Mind? BJJ, thank you for joining. But yes, we are in the process of watching who's number one. Diego looking for every heel hook and leg lock in his brain. And it's come close, at least on a couple of these, or at least I tapped if we were rolling with him. But both these gentlemen, very, very fast. Baby Shark not even wincing in some of those really awkward bending positions of the legs. I don't think I could move that fast to get out of those positions. I'm fairly certain I would have been caught at least 3 times in this match. And yet, we continue on. So, as a reminder, if you guys like, share, or comment on this show, we will give you a toast just like we do those who get finishes within regulation. And if we have missed a toast, please remind me in the comment section. Occasionally I forget. Most of the times I'm pretty on top of it. But it's a good way to remind the host, who, all things considered, is drinking when the show is going on. So just as a reminder, it does help. And Diogo is looking to pass guard. There is going to be a preference coming up in a few minutes to let you know who the judges have been favoring thus far in. And I feel it's kind of 50-50 at this point. I feel like the very first half of these 5 minutes were definitely Diego's, but now Diogo's threatening a lot more. Woo, just kidding. Nope, Diego looking for a leg again. Tries to pass it over to the other part of his leg. May gets a second to rechamber here. Diogo looking for a toe hold. It's not bad. This is fairly solid. I think Diego looks like he wants to let it break before he's going to let anything happen to him. Oof. I think either he got some kind of reaction out of him, or at least he lost that. And the first preference is going to go to Diego Pato, which I don't even disagree with. I think that's a perfectly competent call. But Diogo is sneaking in some of these toe holds in very awkward positions, but kudos to him, dude. Yeah, this is a match that's just been on fire this entire time. All right, both of these gentlemen are maybe no. I thought for a split second Diogo was going to invite him to stand back up, but instead there's a guard here, kind of a half guard, a little knee shield approach by Diego. And I do have to wonder here, when you win that first period, how do you feel going into another period of action? I don't think this is a person you could just kind of sit and rest on. I think there's kind of a moment where you figure, hey, do I let him kind of work for 2 minutes and then come in for the last 3 to get this decision? Because as I mentioned earlier, even though Diego looked like he was on fire in the first 5 minutes, there was a good portion of that last heavy part where Diego looked like he was surmising his own comeback. So it could be a very, very interesting match that goes back and forth. But yes, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you're enjoying the broadcast. It is my very... What's up, Jits, bitch? Still one of the best names in all of grappling, by the way. What's your @ sign? Oh, I'm Jits, bitch. Yeah, do something about it. Like the quickest way to let people know, like, I think she's for real, dude. Like, she might not like us. She's Jits, bitch. A very funny meme maker, by the way. So, just saying. What's up, Sandy? Good to see you. All right, 7:41 left to go in this match, and it's a barn burner. I think in the second period so far, you were seeing Baby Shark do an incredible amount of work. The only thing that's missing is he hasn't quite really passed guard in this period. Diego's done an excellent job of keeping him at bay, which makes it very difficult to kind of score this one. I think you go with action if there is no score. And I see here from Gred58 who says, I think these are swords and a black belt, Lovato BJJ. We'll give our best to all of our friends over at Lovato. We have interviewed some folks on this podcast from our good friend Rafael Lovato Jr., aka the other Rafael. And they've been friends of the show for a very long time. So it always makes me happy to see our friends doing big things. So give them our best. And if they don't really enjoy us that much, not our worst, just tell them we say hello. All right, share to my profile. So that means that some of you may see this over on your Facebooks. And if that is the case, welcome to the broadcast. It is a pleasure to have you guys going on. And we'll take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, and allegations in the comments section. We are two matches, this match and another before we get to our main event. So essentially, we only have two left after this. What is up, it Belagier? Good to see you. Uh-oh. There's a stop here. I can't tell if it's an injury of some sort. They've constructed a timeout. I think he's saying some part of his leg was injured, which um may I bring up a quick observation here? When you've been in bad spots, it would stand that maybe your leg is kind of been softened up. Technically, he did tap from that. Huh. And Diego is talking him up and pointing to a lot of different places, but a lot of respect shown between these two guys. I think it does stand to say that this injury is going to be still ruled in favor for Diego. So we're talking about the fact that we do have a new champion now as a result of it. I think they're trying to quantify exactly how they're going to say it in the language here. But you'll notice they didn't say how he won it. They just said, hey, this dude won. Can I just say this, though? He was throwing up all those attacks. This does not seem surprising. We'll see what he has to say in this interview. It's so dumb that I still hear other voices very faintly in the background of this interview. Mm, mm. All right, we're at the call it question. So there's going to be an event in Southern California that they're talking about. I'm not sure if they're talking about it happening before the end of the world. The end of the world, yes, the end of the year. Can I put that together with worlds? My apologies. So what's the injury? The left arm is what you're asking here, Curtis. I thought it had to do with the leg. Boof. Can I point this out to you guys? So years ago, um, to an event that was on Flow, I remember telling them, hey, I think that you guys need to get more in on your social media. Now, this was at a time when more people would engage and you would actually get results or things that people could search and see. If they said, oh, who's number one, you could find it a little bit easier. That culture has changed a little bit in social media, but it's still a viable one. And I feel like 7 or 8 years past the due date of when I said, like, hey, you guys probably use like an official hashtag of some sort to one of the organizations. Now I see it and it's just like, it's a terrible integration of hashtags. It is the most basic version of it, which is, here's me watching it. I feel they would not pick me, but I feel like we have a good shot if we were to submit us watching it right now, because I don't know how many other people are actually submitting that on that hashtag. So let's do just a quick look here on Instagram. Let's give it a look to see how many people are doing this, because if that is the case, I'm just genuinely curious how many people are utilizing this when in years they could have done it. Let's see here. So we're going to type in the ridiculously long, for no reason, who number one 21 fans. I see 20 posts. Okay. Well, now it's telling me it won't pull it up. But I see 21 posts, and no, that's it. That's the ones. So they're all like their kids. Okay, so this is weird to me. What's up, Jay Santana? It's weird to me to be like, you know what, kids, go in front of the Christmas tree. I'm going to take a photo of you, and I want to put you on this so that they can show it on air. This is fucking weird to me. And I guess the other thing is, yeah, you could show, I don't know how many random dudes are showing themselves doing it. I'm watching it, and sometimes I still am confused how I'm doing this broadcast. But here we are. Curtis, you were asking what the injury was. I thought it was the leg. I know I might have said that earlier, but I'm thinking more about it. And you were continuing with that, with saying, damn, that's so unfortunate. The match was really good and he was winning. I mean, the momentum was swinging back his way, but don't forget the first 5 minutes were for Diego. So as a result, it might have been evened out. The problem is, and part of the reason why I think that Baby Shark had an issue is, don't forget the fact that his knee was worked over with a number of submissions that he was just kind of shaking off, like, no big deal, no big deal. And it says Pato hurt him with the outside heel hook. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I just don't think you can overlook those things. When you see them happening in the moment, if you're a competitor, I see the value in saying, I have a good poker face. You didn't really do anything to me. It doesn't take the reality out of it, which is, oh no, those are bad bends. A bad bend or a bad knee line placement is always going to be yikes central. But having said that, we are now at the continued exciting part of the card, we hope, with one Cody Steele and Mika Galvo. So going back and forth between these two gentlemen, you would assume that the favorite here is Mika Galvo, but the excitement and unpredictability goes to Cody Steele. And Cody Steele is a longtime friend of the show, so it's one of those things where you go, if anything, Cody just has a game partner that's willing to do some random shit. And there was a duck under there that almost looked like it was very good for Mika. Cody read it just in time. So here's our hope where business picks up. And I see a note here that says, yeah, maybe he wasn't winning the whole thing, but he was heating up. I agree. That much is true. He was starting to get that momentum going back, and who knows how that would have played out all entirely. Man, what a wild fucking thing, man. Thank you very much for that, Jody. Or Santana. I appreciate that. Mika in on a guillotine, but still hasn't passed the guard to get it. Tries to go over top. Now, there's a good front headlock grip that could be a guillotine. It's just going to be a little bit hard to finish in this position. I would assume he's going to want to go on over to a mounted position. He doesn't quite get it. Now he has it. Cody rolls out of it. This guillotine is legit. Cody might be in trouble here. He definitely has to create a little bit of distance, but we're not seeing too much happening in terms of a defense. This is definitely something that Cody is eating a little bit at the moment. This is yikes, but Cody may be able to kind of lift him out of it, doing some good frames and using the legs to kind of push himself out and around. He may be out of inherent danger, but we'll see how it plays out right now, and he does get out of it. Great job here, Cody Steele, who thought for a split second to go ahead and just stand up, found a roadblock, and escapes, stands back up, and does a double gun salute in terms of flexing the biceps at Mika Galvão, which, by the way, is one of the most animalistic things that you can do. What's up, Arturo Reyes? Nice to see you. And we're kind of back at the races here. Mika's still looking for the head of Cody Steele and continues to get these front headlocks in very good ways. This one might be in decently. Cody pops his head out very nicely. So you have to figure with those two submission attempts that Mika Galvão is already going to be up on these first 5 minutes. The nice part is Cody Steele has read each of them very well and has kept himself very, very safe thus far in. But it is intriguing to watch this as it's unfolding in front of us. My appreciation to all of you who are stopping in to watch along. And we have a lot more shows still to go, though, guys. We got this match and your main event with Rafael Lovato Jr. and one Pedro Moreno. Sorry, I just forgot who it was against because I was like, wait, wasn't the main event? Oh, Gordon was out. That's right. And Cody trying the reverse rape choke from underneath, which don't know how that's going to pay off here, but it might be a choke slam he's looking for here. But instead, you got to be up and above. Cody has an actual entry into an X guard if he so chooses it. Mika's very tight on this control and pressure at this moment. Mika saw an opening, was looking for the back, maybe got lost in the sauce, but still manages to stay on it. Now has kind of a crucifix position on Cody. Cody has to be very careful where he goes here. There is a guillotine, there is a rear naked choke, and there is a kind of a classic crucifix position here where he is attacking both the arms of Cody Steele, one set through the legs, now bringing it over, looking for kind of an armbar. Cody reads it very nicely, comes back up. Now Mika still has to give it up, and Cody allows him to stand back up just so we could see more excitement, more fireworks, and they slap and bump right then and there. That's a very, very good back and forth between these two gents. Here's what I'm saying, though. Appreciate these gems. We had a few matches tonight that weren't super great. We were on the middle of a super fire match between Diego and Diogo. Oh my God, with one of the best sweeps you could get on Mika Galvão. Well done. Cody building up some confidence here, and it may not be enough to get the nod in the first 5 minutes, but it's definitely enough to kind of throw Mika off his game going into the next period. And I believe you will see a red light coming on very soon right here that will be indicative of a judge's preference for Mika Galvão, and they did just put it on right now, which is excellent to see for his efforts, I think, in these first 15 minutes, or I'm sorry, these first 5 minutes. We were saying this a little bit earlier before, but yeah, Cody's getting a little bit more confidence in knowing he's gotten out of those submission attempts by Mika. Mika's already thrown some really good stuff at him. He's by no means out of this equation, but it is nice to see Cody kind of firing a little bit more of his offense here. And, you know, wrestling's a tricky beast, dude. It exhausts the shit out of you. I just get the impression that Cody thrives in that realm where he's... As I was saying this, Cody literally just threw a nice little establishing kick. And just, it's not necessarily on purpose, but it's just from the maneuvering back and forth between both of these gents. All right, back to a regular collar tie situation here. And both these gentlemen kind of like checking the other to see what kind of pressure and level changes they can make. Cody signaling like he had a level change here and finds himself in another front headlock. These have been all of the difference. For Mika Galvo, who is tightening it up a little bit more, Cody is definitely in danger in the spot right now. There is still a lot of time for him to work, and you are seeing Cody wince. He may end up tapping in this position. Mika Galvo is not letting up on the pressure. Cody's trying to turn into it, but does manage to get out of it. And mostly, I would say, because you are seeing one Mika Galvo accept the position of staying in that north-south while getting a little bit of a pass as a result of it. Well done there. That was really fun to watch. Good Lord. All right, this is Rafa Sparza of the Grappling Hour watching the TEZOS presents Flow Grappling presents Who's Number One as presented by the Grappling Hour. And I'm very excited to see this match in particular. But we were mentioning this a little bit earlier, which is, yes, we had to endure some matches that were not great. But this one is living up to the expectation. Now, granted, Cody is getting a little bit worked over, and we mentioned that Mika was the favorite. However, Cody has still been making it exciting and has found his way to get out of some really bad spots that most amateurs would not be in. Mind you, Cody is also deep in on a MMA career where you probably don't do stuff like this, but he's been making such great advances in that realm that I have such a high appreciation for him doing shit like this. Meanwhile, Mika Galvo now on the back, trying to flatten out Cody Steele, who feels the pressure and does start trying to put up his hand to defend himself. Mika gets underneath the chin and has the hand on the shoulder, but doesn't quite have the angle yet. He may work to transition ever so shortly here in just a second here. And it says, all these collar ties are hurting my neck just watching. You and me both, buddy. This is a way better short choke approach, but Mika lets it go. Whenever you have somebody who is as good of his movement as Cody Steele is, you have to respect that. You have to give him his due and allow him to kind of make that change. If you have to do it on the fly, you have to be able to say, I don't think this is going to work for us. I think we have to move to a different attack. It's a very seasoned approach here. And you're seeing the corner of Cody Steele just kind of look at him and be like, hey, bro, it's not looking good. Like, both Tackett brothers are kind of like, not what I'm hoping for, but, you know, we're still in this, baby. Mika Galvo trying to isolate the arm here. Cody Steele keeping it very tight to the closeness of his body. So when the arm is away from you, that's when your body gets weak. Mika Galvo spider crawling the arm up, maybe trying to signal a head and arm choke here. And Cody kind of sees it coming. So there is an escape that you can kind of go, but you have to time it perfectly if it is a late escape. And Cody brings the arm back down ever so slightly 2 to 3 times. So we do have a couple more comments. Let me see if I can find out what they are saying here. Yes, I did see that. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you guys all for all of your comments, questions, concerns, hints, and allegations. As we are watching this, there is that Nogi Ezekiel from Mount, which I don't think is going to get much more than a reaction out of it. And it almost allowed Cody Steele to get a half guard. Mika looks for the back here continuously, putting that more heavy pressure on Cody Steele, but he isn't quite getting the back exposure of Cody just yet. He's really smart in this position. You just don't discount him. But we did just get another 5-minute period, which is obviously going to go to the red corner of one Mika Galvo. Cody might be exhausted and just stands up and is basically deciding to choose violence from this position. I think Cody knows these are the last 5 minutes. This is his last stand in this match with Mika Galvo and goes right back to his wrestling pedigree, looking to get some established grips here. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries a duck under sooner than later, but he does find himself back into a front headlock. That has been the name of the game for Mika Galvo. He shoots in. Mika does have another front headlock, although this time on the inside of the body going around. So this has been a very interesting match. Oh my God, this suplex by Mika Galvo. You know, this could be a good finish here. This is a guillotine. This is good. It's an arm in one. Cody is getting wrenched up, but the sweat is going to get him out of it more than any of the movement, honestly. Mika's spider crawling the arm up once again. Cody has a good position down with his right arm, keeping a little bit of a frame underneath. The other arm is a little exposed, and it is out of play now because Mika Galvo wasn't spider crawling it enough just yet. He may try to underhook once again and get some distance here, but Mika Galvo has been utilizing this mount position to great effect throughout this match. It has very much been the Mika Galvo show, and yet at the same point, Cody Steele never once looking like he has been completely out of breath in terms of getting out of these positions, showing us some great creativity in all of these spots. Mika Galvo, every time he goes for some of these traditional attacks, that might actually be it though. That neck is exposed now. Cody finds the other angle out and around it. There is still, right now, 2 minutes and 57 seconds left to go. Mika looking for a head and arm choke, now slowing it down, realizing that every time he has gone too fast, Cody has found his way out. Now he's got a back take with a body triangle. This is very difficult to get out of. And Cody, the slipperiness of the arms provides a very, very big problem when you go 2-on-1 in this position. And it does look like Mika has a leg over. This neck is trapped. It does look like Mika is coming close to a finish here, and he does have a rear naked choke. Cody is trying his best to make his way out, and he does get the tap right then and there after an exhausting 12 minutes of action. And both these gentlemen have the utmost respect for one another. What's up, Bobby? And you can see why. Cody shaking his head, very impressed at Mika Galvo, who is ranked number 2 for a reason. And I beg to say that most of us could not do the bulk of those escapes, but the finish coming from an excellent back take and the trapping of an arm, which made it so that Cody was unable to do all of his actual physical gymnastics that have kept him out of submissions coming all the way throughout this match. What a very, very fun match. So kudos on that one, Flo. That one paid off very, very well. And, you see great moments from Mika Galvo, who wraps out his black belt around him. I don't know. I can't tell if this is, I thought that's something you do if somebody didn't have a black belt. So we're wearing our gi black belt. When we accept something in no gi, I feel like this is a statement we have to ask him about because it does look like an odd juxtaposition between the two. We'll do a toast to Mika Galvo shortly after this. All right, we're waiting for the post interview right now with Kendall. Mika said he kind of knew the wrestling would be the hardest part. And he said he was kind of scared to be there for a little bit of a time. But Kendall's asking, what was going through your mind as you were going through some of those deep submissions? Mm-hmm. So he figured that this time, much like his match with J Rod, he has to tire him out, and that maybe the submissions would come as a result of that. Okay, so the Costa Mesa is a February card. So they're floating the idea of Nikki Ryan versus Mika Galvo. Oh, Nikki Ryan is here. What a surprise. Nikki Ryan bringing out his man purse. And he says he'll be healthy and ready for it. So the Who's Number One event is happening. I believe it's Who's Number One 22, February 9th, Costa Mesa, California. Nikki Ryan and Mika Galvo. And let's throw it back to the table. Nope, we didn't. Okay, just flexing. Oh boy. Okay. When they say spread the word, they mean do the promotion for them. But great. I would say this though. Good match. Should be fun to watch. Nikki is coming back through the injuries, but you never discount him out. Should be fun to see. And is it interesting because on this particular match, you had Cody Steele who wasn't ranked, but you feel like he's grandfathered into action. Like Cody Steele is just somebody you want to watch no matter who he's going up against. So I'm fascinated by all these things that they are presenting this evening. But as a result of that, I do wonder what this does mean for the rest of the card. But yes, your main event is about to happen right now. And I hope that you guys are excited about it. So Rafael Lovato Jr. and Prado Marino are going to be coming up very, very soon. But while we're doing this, and if you guys are wondering how it is you could support us here at the show, I know you're asking it. I know you're thinking it. You can follow us on our Instagram page. It is at Grappling Hour. We make it very simple for you guys. At Grappling Hour at all major social media. So go ahead and press that one on in. Go check it out. Give us some love. Give us some support. And if you would be so kind, if you haven't done so already, you can come join us and subscribe. I noticed this is completely out of place. So we're probably going to do that one again. Yep. In fact, bam. If you guys can like, comment, and subscribe for us here on our do it. There we go. YouTube page. It would mean the world to us. We take every bit of support that we have and we always put it to the next event. So it really does make a difference for us. You can also check us out on Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter because I don't call it X. X is a really stupid name, by the way. We can't get enough of the dumb reasons for calling it whatever you're going to call it. But every time I hear somebody be like, are you on X? No, I'm on Twitter, you fool. Sometimes an unnecessary rebrand is just an unnecessary reason. But we'll see how long it exists. Maybe it doesn't exist in a year or something. Who knows? So we have all those reasons and more. I'm very excited that you guys are joining us. We still have more shit to plug while they're doing their commercials. Hey, check us out. We're also on Threads. Look at that. So if you want to see some of the funny things that we say and you don't want to give Elon any props, go on over to Threads. You can find us at Grappling Hour. And yes, they are getting ready for their main event that is coming up next while we continue to plug our shit, because you can also find us at Grappling Hour on TikTok. It took us a while to figure out what we're doing, but we're putting up more and more content on our TikTok. And as we go along, we're going to be putting up even more shit in the future. So it would mean the world to me if you guys continue to support us on all of our avenues. It really does make a difference for us. And I don't know if you're watching this on Twitch, but we are on Twitch if you didn't know that. And that is at Grappling Hour. Very, very simple to find us on all these different places in case you haven't heard. I should also point this out in case you want to be part of our community. We also have a Discord. It is at Grappling Hour. If you have any questions on where to find it and maybe you just plug that in, you can't find it, just hit me up. Shoot me a DM. For the most part, you'll be brought in unless you're fucking crazy. If you're a crazy human being, then maybe we'll think about it. We won't bring you in. But for the most part, most everybody comes into our Discord. If you want to hear the audio versions of our broadcast, we are starting to fix up more of those. You can check us out at Apple Podcasts at Grappling Hour, or you could go on over, if you like the Spotify better, you can go on over to Spotify, check us out at Grappling Hour, all of those different places and more. So that's what I got for you guys coming up tonight. All right, your main event is coming up very, very soon. But I do find this, which is that, Flow Grappling, this February event, very intriguing. You announced tonight Mika Galvo, Nikki Ryan. It's right after the ADCC Open. So you got back-to-back shit going down in California. I do wonder who they're going to be pulling on that card. I'm sure we'll find out more as the days go by. But, it's always hard for me because I always think to myself, dude, Christmas is coming up. I want to enjoy my Christmas, you dicks. Let me live. So that is what we got going on. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a stop to the broadcast here on our Instagram, and we're going to go live on Grappling Hour for the very final part. So thanks to all of you guys who have been tuning in over on our Instagram. If you want to continue with the podcast here, you can go at Grappling Hour on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. But if you want to hang with us, go on over to Verbal Tapcast for our main event. Thank you. And so now we are saving this and putting it up. Part 1. I like that it says party 1 as a response. Guess it was a party. And who number 1, 21. I wonder if I just change the name and just say like, who number 1? If that's enough to get a buy and not be sued by Flow Grappling. But you never know. Stranger things happen all the time, my friends. So very excited to see how that gets posted. And for those of you who are watching right now, oh Jesus, Gary Tonin looks his next fight in Asia. Gary has a fight in Asia. I guess that's news to me. But we're about to get to our main event walkouts. Again, give us all the love and support that you guys can. It does mean the world to us, and I appreciate all of it. It never gets lost on me. New t-shirts are coming up very soon as we wait for some of these walkouts to happen right now. I'm very happy that you guys are along for the ride. And yes, we do have the main event happening right this second. So don't go anywhere. Grab a beer. Watch along with us. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up. I hope that you guys are also enjoying your day. It has been a very long day. Got in some training, started doing this. The grind never stops, you guys. So here we are for our very final match of the night. And we're going to put this one up. Who number 1, 21, main event, watch along. Well, bam. All right, here we go, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. What is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, Rafa Sparza. We are watching Who's Number 121. This is the main event. We had the previous part of the card over on the Grappling Hour, but now we're watching the main event. Rafael Lovato Jr. just made his way on out, and now we're getting Pedro Moreno. What is up, Noam? Good to see you, my man. And it's a very, very fun event. It's been, hit and miss. Some of the matches were kind of boring. Some were kind of great. And what's up, Benjamin? What's up, Sullivan? So right now, Pedro, Rafael, the other Rafael, if you would, are making their way in. What's up, the Diamond MMA? We had some good training today. I appreciate you, my man. I actually saw some people using some of the shit that I was like, kind of did that today. Mika Galvo was attacking Cody Steele the way that you were attacking me. And I was like, yo, Cody Steele, do that thing that I did today. Although, Mika Galvo is way better than you. So just saying. All right, Rafael Lovato Jr., Pedro Moreno, and they're disrupting my rule, which is he is wearing a gi. So Pedro should have, especially as a champion, what's up, Uncle Jesse? They should have a photo of him in no-gi gear. If you're the champion, you should have a no-gi photo, stock photo ready to be used. Otherwise, you have to come in and wear that gi in a no-gi match. And they can use it against you. So there is that. Uncle Jesse, when you're coming up, bud, you got to come train. I know you're probably training for ADCC. I just already know you're going to be competing in that. So you need to find your way up over the holidays. Come on over to us in the valley here. It's been too long. You owe me a marathon roll, good sir. So just saying. All right, we're starting with grips right now. And here's the difference. Rafael Lovato Jr., very tall, kind of putting out his arm to kind of bait one Pedro Marino. It says, still looking forward to you suplexing me. It's going to happen, bro. Fortunately, you're light enough. After a certain weight class, it gets harder to suplex people. Though I don't suplex people as well as Cody Steele. And unfortunately, we did not see like a suplex from Cody Steele. We saw one kind of on him from a front headlock earlier from one Mika Galvo, who a beast. And congratulations to him for continuing his win. So I was very excited to see that happen this way. What's up, Monte? And for those of you who are watching and tuning in, my name is Rafa Esparza. We are doing a watch along for all things, and I do apologize for the voice quality getting a little bit worse. Turns out my earbuds did die. We have been on air for a little bit, so you'll just hear me like this. This is just fine, I'm sure. But yes, Rafael Lovato Jr. trying to bait in some takedowns over here from the young gun Juan Pedro Marino, who is the champion of this. It would be interesting to see Rafael Lovato Jr. And you do get the sense that if he does win, like how much more does Rafael Lovato have to prove? He keeps telling us he has more to do in this sport, and every time it's just setting the bar for the rest of us Rafaels that is far too... Oh, God, they just kicked out one of the TV screens. And... yeah, dude, that's not fun, man. That's a big-ass screen. That was the scoreboard that they just knocked down right there. At the 13:12 mark, they knocked off one of the screens. What's up, Johnny SD? Thank you for joining. My name is Rafa Esparza. Again, you're watching the Grappling Hour, watching Flow Grappling presents, TEZOS presents Who's Number One as presented by the Grappling Hour. Trademark. I don't think they can sue us if we say it like that. So that's why we say it like that. All right, Lovato pulling guard, playing from there, looking for a sweep, trying to go to kind of a De La Hiva, not quite there. And Marino grabbing around the back of Lovato's neck, now having to deal with some of the frames, getting pushed back ever so slightly by Lovato. Now there's just kind of a ridiculous grip around the back of the head from Pedro Marino as he has a knee that he's trying to pass through Lovato's guard, doesn't quite get anywhere yet. Now, Lovato, for a split second, thought he had maybe a sweep attempt. Now both gentlemen are standing up. Lovato, when he turned his back to him for a split second, kind of thought I have a second to re-get my grips here, but instead, Pedro stalking him. Almost slipped there, by the way. Pedro looked for a snap down and almost lost his balance. Now the referee telling him, boys, you've already ruined one TV. Let's get you back to the center of the mats and keep the action in the center. What are we, unclassy like ADCC trials? Get out of here. Underhook by Rafael Lovato Jr., but a duck under by Pedro. It may result in a mat return here in a split second, but there is a suplex attempt. Lovato keeps his balance for the moment. There is a waist lock. Lovato is trying to reach behind him, and there may actually be a trip. Nope, it is a suplex that happens here for Pedro. Lovato uses it as an opportunity maybe to look for the leg. Doesn't quite get it right then and there. Very fascinating back and forth between these two gents as Lovato, playing from inside of guard, thought about going for an omoplata, can't quite keep the arm in play for long enough. What's up, big motherfucker? Hasn't been a while since I've seen you, but I trust that you've been up to no good because that is what you do. Hope all is well, my friend. Marino Lovato is your main event here at Who's Number One 21. It's hard to believe that they have put on 21 of these events, potentially because only 10 have been memorable. But here we are, nonetheless. All right, there is a guard here from Rafael Lovato Jr. who's trying a little bit for a tripod sweep. And from this particular position, tries to invert underneath, doesn't quite get it. Pedro stalking, waiting his time, and now the ref is going to reset them back to the middle of the mats. And yeah, it is kind of this back and forth that has been happening thus far in the match. Lovato trying to bring this leg over to Reap, doesn't quite get it. Has the grip on the back of the foot, is going to try and push off Pedro Marino, doesn't quite get it. Pedro's making the most out of both an underhook and a grip around the back of the head. Lovato switches to the other side, has a leg that he's trying to push up, doesn't quite get much there. Now there's a foot firmly on the cheek of Juan Pedro Marino from Lovato, who looks like he's implementing stuff he's learned from the 10th planet system at this point. Pedro trying to pace out the leg, pushing it down, slipping his knee underneath Lovato's leg to create some weight that's going to make it difficult for him to be pushed off. And yet, in trying to weave the leg through, you're going to get the feeling that Pedro has been the aggressor, especially with that snap down and that suplex, and he does get the nod for the first 5 minutes. So the advantage goes to one Pedro Moreno, and it is very easy to see why he is keeping that distance thus far in. So that's the first 5 minutes, and Lovato looking for a leg here. This is not bad. It's going to be hard to finish in this particular area because Lovato is so long. Those legs actually kind of work against him for that particular leg lock. Moreno already kind of out, back up on his feet, and I see the 10th planet stuff. You understand what I'm talking about. Yo, you know what? I want to say I know you know what I'm talking about, but we have not rolled yet. So I would like to learn your 10th planet nonsense, Jesse, because I don't even know which variation of 10th planet you are. If you try and throw some rubber guard at me, I am going to punch you. Because I know where you're learning it from. You should be good at it. Though you are older, so it is hard to do stuff like that when you're old. I'm just saying. That's what I've heard. Now, if anything, I've seen the way that Jesse likes to play. It's going to be all front headlocks. He is 100% going to be looking for my neck. The only thing is, he forgets one thing. I have a giant neck, bro. And it is because of my giant head it has had to support all of these years. Lovato looking for that underhook again. So here's what I want from this underhook. He's trying to lift the leg and kind of offset him almost into a judo entry from that position. Now Lovato just kind of bullying him with some shoves here. Not going to do the effort here. I would love to see Lovato, if he gets that underhook, just try to dip down a little bit on that shoulder. I just wonder if it just opens up the other side of the body there for him to kind of get an entry. You see Shanji clapping for Lovato. And Pedro's inviting Lovato to go back to the center of the mats. And now they're throwing baseball signals over at Pedro Moreno. So I think he's going to steal second in this next 5-minute period. All right. Grip fighting back up top. Here's what I have to say. If you're Lovato and you think this is going to go all the way through, you have to start doing more to win this decision, because there is a high likelihood this will go to decision just based off the way the two of them roll. And this is kind of the weird part about it is that this is in a similar space to the Lucas Barbosa and Giancarlo Bodoni match, which is, maybe we weren't looking for a wrestling match, but we're kind of getting one nonetheless. So there's a little bit of snap downs, a little bit of back and forths here between both of these gentlemen. I like that little attempt to attack the shin there. Lovato just pushing him back. We're now at the Godzilla versus Mothra period, and both of these gentlemen losing patience for one another, because I think Lovato knows he might be behind here, and I think it's very rare that you see him work from this kind of behind an underdog status. I also want to point this out. I didn't know that you could be somebody who was a announcer or analyst and also a coach, but lo and behold, here we are. It is allowed. What kind of shindig is Flo Opera? Oh, there is no credibility for Flo. Yikes, forgot that. Lovato's stalking Pedro. Like, he is right on top of this ref, looking to see if he could just go back and attack. Lovato definitely had a "I will eat your babies, bitch" aspect in his eyes. Pedro responding in kind by kind of looking for a snatch single. Lovato aggressively keeping him at bay. Both of these gentlemen still probably very exhausted from these 10 minutes of standing up like this. Lovato being a little bit of a bully here. I think these underhooks, I want to say this. I think Lovato game planned this takedown that you get, that judo kind of like Seanagi, where you get the leg in between and start ducking them around. The problem is in Nogi, the referee's like, yo, don't go until I tell you to go. Every time he throws that leg in between Pedro's legs, you get the sense that if it's a gi, maybe 60%, 40% that he would get that takedown. In this particular aspect, I don't get the sense it's going to work without that gi aspect. I think this is one of the few times where now you've accumulated so much sweat that you're wicking off of each other. It is similar to when you're doing the 80cc style where you don't have the no rash guard sort of thing, where sometimes you're at a place where as much as you're trying and as good as the technique or the entry may be, that wicking is happening where you go, fuck, I would normally have this. I will eat your baby's bitch. Listen, if you saw a different look from him, you are welcome to tell me otherwise. I know what that look is. And I know the competitor that Rafael is. Us Rafaels, see, Jesse, you don't know this. Us Rafaels can be very spirited competitors to the point where maybe you don't want to play board games with us. My wife puts it best. I'm only competitive with about 10 people. So for the most part, I'm very good sport with most people. I'm not sure if you're in that 10, but we'll see. All right, we're back. And this time they gave a blue score to Rafael. So they were saying in the past 5 minutes, Lovato was pushing the action there. So there is an opening for Lovato here. Now it's 1-1 even if we're going by the judges' preferences, which, as we know, is sometimes bullshit. Nicky Rod. What I'm saying here is, in this particular moment, though, because it's even, and you do see both of these gentlemen very tired, you both have to not make a mistake and be at the top of your game for the next 5 minutes as much as possible. And that's difficult to do when you have somebody who's kind of reading your takedowns. He's reading your feints and he's reading your entry levels. So it's going to be difficult. And I think the other problem is this is one of those areas where in terms of the stand-up, Lovato's lankiness is such a weird equation, but it just makes more for him the level change to get down to actually take Pedro down. That's a very difficult thing to do. So 4 minutes are left in this match. It's 1-1 apiece, and Lovato's been walking him down. So now you start to wonder, does that mean Lovato's getting it here? Ooh, see, again. Hold on. Sometimes the reference happens before my mouth can say it. And there was a moment right now where Pedro Moreno literally brought up his hands kind of like this. And as he's doing it like this, it is something straight out of Kickboxer. And my brain is just too overloaded not to laugh at it first. Because I'm waiting for some really old school like Muay Thai music that you hear at a PKB playing in the background as he's doing that. It's too much. So that's what I saw from Pedro on this side. Lovato has an over and an under, and he's trying to bully Pedro around. They're going to get probably to the edge of the mat unless he can get some kind of return here, which I'm not confident he does. They release the grips. There's 3 minutes left to go. Rafael has the underhook here. And again, I do feel like, man, easier said than, ooh, Pedro might have snatched singled that. There is a single attempt here. Lovato, his balance is usually pretty good from here. So we'll see when Pedro chooses to get him down. If he does, Lovato still staying upright ever so slightly, takes a swipe at the legs, doesn't get him down. Lovato hopping very, very aggressively to make sure he doesn't do it. And I mean, this is one of the times, man, what a great, great leg extension there. What's up, Jordan Jitsu? Good to see you as well. That was a perfect turn away and spin right back into the action there by Lovato. That is one of the best defenses you can do with that single leg position. And Lovato's starting to get spicy. Look at this position here. Now these two boys are realizing 2:19 left to go. It is all aggression, and you have to figure, do you reward the person who's grabbing those snatch singles even if they aren't getting finished, or do you reward the person who looks more pissed that he's not getting something? Because Lovato, for all of this, maybe not getting down there and getting the level changes, is selling me on his aggressiveness. Jesus Christ. What a match that is happening right now. And here's the nice part. I don't know how much different the explanation of what we're seeing is from what we saw with Giancarlo and Juan Lucas Barbosa, but I feel something different about this match for whatever reason. And maybe it's just the two different characters at play here, but even though this isn't the world's best wrestling exhibition match, you do get the sense that they're trying different things. They just read each other very well. And again, Lovato's been so consistent on getting that underhook. I think he almost hopes either for that Judo Seoinage or for a trip, and he just misses it. And there were several times when Pedro had the snatch single, was looking to kind of chop away at the leg, but the distance in the reach between the two of them was so different that he couldn't quite make up that distance. What's up, Cole? What's up, Brady? Good to see you guys. Another underhook here by Lovato. So I'll say this. I feel like the underhooks are there. I mean, Lovato's getting frustrated, like pointing like, hey, man, where are you running away from? The problem is Lovato gets those underhooks, but nothing happens from them in particular. And I think that's the frustrating part. I think you potentially could see a match where Pedro retains and keeps his belt. And yet at the same point, you could easily see why Lovato, while pushing the action, could be disappointed that he didn't get the result he wanted. And that one looked almost like a slap. And we're right back to the hands raised once again by Pedro Moreno, who's continuously inviting the what I like to call the Fast and the Furious Vin Diesel arm race. Now Pedro in on it. Yeah, this is going to be enough where, even pretending and looking like he's going to get it. And the referee has to push both of them aside and say, gents, you're done. Lovato is experienced enough to know you have to start pointing at yourself and believe that you won it. Any kind of signal that you potentially lost that is indicative of the judges looking at you, and goes to a kind of a warrior pose right here, and you can feel the exhaustion on him. I think you're going to see the result for Pedro. I think that's what you're going to see. He definitely looks more pissed. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Oh, Uncle Jesse, you're voting Lovato. Okay, we'll see. I honestly, like, that's such a close one. I don't think there's a real way to get mad at these. In my particular opinion, you kind of get what you get, but we're going to find out right now who ended up taking that one. And here we go. Push the pace the entire match. And it is a unanimous decision for Pedro Moreno, as I mentioned here, Jesse. What did I tell you, bro? So here, don't boo him. Come on, man. That's a razor thin decision, but he did just this much more. Just it's hard to explain. And I say this as somebody. Both of these gentlemen have been on our show, so we're friendly with both. It's close. That's is what you have to say on this. It's Lovato may be looking for it. Pedro was probably closer in theory to getting some more of those takedowns. But this also tells me that if you and I ever went to a decision, if you ever came to train, that you would think you'd win, even if you didn't. So now I know that about you. So that's good to know when you eventually come to train, which you probably won't, but you better. So we're about to hear the interview with Pedro, who is not given a TEZOS coin, by the way. And he says he knew it would be a tough match. And he said he was able to catch his takedowns, which I don't know that I counted many of them, but okay. What's up, Aaron McKenzie? Do you think Lovato won that? You have to say yes. I know that. I hate watching jiu-jitsu. So, Aaron, why do you hate watching jiu-jitsu? Please tell us in the comment section. So now they're asking who Pedro would like to have a match in the future against. Huge honor for me. I want to point this out. Pedro also told us that he listened to us. Nah, I don't feel like it's special anymore. Oh, nope. He's yelling at us. Uh-oh. All right, Pedro Mourinho, your continuous champion who is yelling at the screen and saying some stuff that I assume will probably be in Brazilian and not translated. So there is that. Okay, it says, shoot, I have no clue what you said, LOL. My volume messed up. I'll be right back. That throw in the first 5 was nasty. Absolutely. Okay, so you're in good company here, Aaron, because you have somebody in the comment section who could probably speak to what you thought happened, which was Jesse, Uncle Jesse. I'm sorry, I know his name. Don't blame me. It's just his name. He believes that Lovato won that, and you are a student of Lovato, and you are a friend of the show. Lovato is a friend of the show. Pedro is a friend of the show. So I kind of have to be a little objective. I personally thought Pedro kind of won that, but it was a razor thin decision. So Jesse, tell him why you thought that he won that, and Aaron, respond how you feel without saying it. That definitely Lovato won that because you have to say that legally. So Mika also got a $1,000 bonus for submission of the night, which I kind of wish was more money, but okay, is what it is. All right, sweet. So they just gave him a big check that probably took $1,000 to make, but that's okay. It's for show. It's just what it is. All right, let's get to these notes here. And it says, whose fight was best? Give me a minute on that, IH. And it says, I could see why it was Pedro's decision, but it could have gone Lovato for the aggression and control. And it says, doing just enough to get by shouldn't give you the victory when the opponent is pushing the pace in the majority of the match. So, here's what I'll say. I thought Lovato looked really good. He never looked out of his element. The hard part is there's never one part in the match where Lovato had a check in the way that Pedro did, and I can't get over that. And I know we break these into 5-minute periods, but I think we've seen with the Pena and Nicky Rod match, these little lights are bullshit, dude. I know they're supposed to mean something. They don't. They literally, during that match with Nicky Rod and Felipe Pena, said, we're going to give you a 5-minute thing. Whoever wins this, wins this, wins this. Then at the very end, they're like, just kidding. We just wanted to be like, Felipe Pena won. And you looked at Nicky Rod, and you're like, I thought he did more work. So it says, but I don't think aggression and control score for who's number one. Honestly, I have no clue what their rule set is. See, even with the breaks, they do not score it all over. And again, I don't quite understand. But if you look at it and you go, there wasn't a 10-8 round here, sort of a vibe, but it does make you question, okay, if you have to go back and have one significant moment from that match, you probably think of that Pedro's one entry. And that's problematic. And I can't get past that. And it's hard because the other part of me is like, Lovato was never out. He didn't look bad. I mean, let's put it this way. Let me see if I can categorize this. Lovato is 1 year younger than me and looks 90 years younger than me by the way that he grapples. So I can never quite understand how one does these things. But in this particular case, I kind of see how they gave it to Pedro. I mean, let me put it to you this way. Lovato and Pedro are both supposed to come on the show in a very short amount of time. So I feel like this is something. What's up, Ruin Photography? I feel like this is something. Don't put that. I see this is an old person emoji. Don't put that up there. That's rude. Don't do that. Uncle Jesse, you're not that far younger than me. And let's be real. You don't look younger than me either. Because look, this kid, timeless. You're going to grow old. Timeless. I think the hard part about this is I keep coming back to this idea, which is I looked at that match. I remember what I remember. The periods are bullshit, but apparently they have some weight. So I guess what they're saying is in that last 5 minutes, if you take them at their word, Pedro was slightly ahead. And maybe it's something as dumb as that last 30 seconds where it gives the appearance that he might take the back. It didn't, but it's enough to weigh in their decision. Also, maybe they gave points for breaking the TV. Did anybody think about that? I mean, I was thinking about that. You said this, which is, I wanted to see Jiu-Jitsu. Well, you came to the wrong place. Who's number one is notorious for anti-jiu-jitsu, my man. I say that as an occasional anti-jiu-jitsu person myself. It's tough, dude. I think both of these guys had something that they wanted to prove on their feet. They both wanted to get the takedown. Aaron, you can back me up on this or not. It looked like they had been making my head. I'm telling you, it looked like Lovato was trying for that kind of judo entry into it. I think it's really hard to pull off without the gi. I think it's even harder with somebody that top tier of talent as Pedro. It's worth a try, but I saw him go back to it 4 or 5 times. And it says the amount of wrestling we've been doing. And that's the other thing. I'm sure in your room, Lovato looks like a fucking gem, dude. I'm sure he's looked like one of the biggest bosses you could ever have. It's a different thing. What's up, Crispy? It's difficult to be able to pull that off in a bigger area for whatever reason. It makes me a little upset that, yeah, you're right. I would have liked to see them play from guard and go from there. And we didn't get any of that shit. So it was a little bit of a bummer. Whose fight was best? I mean, I think Mika Galvo submitting Cody Steele is probably the match of the night. It's hard to say because we potentially could see in the match of the night going to Diego and Diogo, the injury being what it may. But I think a lot of times people say like, the injury stopped what it was. I think the injury was a result of the great work that Diego was doing throughout that match. I think that Diogo was putting on a really good face and making it seem like he wasn't as affected, but he was definitely affected. So for that and more, I think those were your matches of the night. I think everything else is a little tepid. Otherwise, I wouldn't say there was anything else that really stuck out to me in particular, even if I was happy for the results or not. So there was that. And it says, IH, gotta be the baby shark, even though it ended weird. I mean, it was a good match. It's hard to categorize it. The difference is with Cody Steele and Mika was better, but Cody was very creative in how he was getting out of shit. So I don't want to overlook that because to me, that was very entertaining. There wasn't a moment where I ever thought, oh, Mika's got this for sure. I saw a guillotine attempt, or at least a front headlock, sent up at least 4 to 5 times. And I thought, maybe, I don't know. And then the next 5 minutes, he gets another front headlock and I go, oh shit, looks like a really good guillotine. That would fuck me up. Not from Uncle Jesse, though. Uncle Jesse doesn't have good guillotines. But I looked at it and I thought, okay. And like the Luke Griffith match, got a good result. Awesome. We should probably do toast. That's what we have to do. Thank you for the reminders. So we'll go down the line of questioning that you guys have, and then we'll do some reminders as I'm picking up and answering your questions, because I'm sure you guys have observations. You guys can throw anything you want at me. I got you for a couple more minutes, and then we'll call it a day. But I would love to take your thoughts from other matches that happened throughout the night, because I think we're, if not in agreement on what happened in the main event, at least at an understanding of what happened. But there were a lot of matches that happened earlier this evening, and whatever you guys want to say as we close up shop here, I'm welcome to answer whatever it is you got. Why are they showing the backup mats again? They have the warm-up mat cams, which is really just a ring cam. And I think it's filming in 720. Jesus Christ, why the fuck are we showing this? It's so funny to me. If you guys have ever worked production, it would be the wildest thing in the world. Talk to me about Tanine and Troy. I saw the result, but was at the Thunder game. Ooh, look who's important and has Thunder games to go to. Ooh, I'm Aaron McKenzie. I was on The Ultimate Fighter, and I get to go to cool basketball games. Tanine looked strong. He did. He had some positional dominance in the mount. Took his time. Respected the game that Troy had, but warmed down and eventually found his way at an arm bar. It was a good test for him because I think the idea is still this, for whatever reason, uncertainty about this super good IBJJF dude who we wonder, oh, could he be good at Gi? Like, it's a surprise. I don't know. Whatever storyline we have to come up with to pretend like, I don't know, could guy who good at one thing be good at other? I don't know. He take away Gi pajama. He's perfectly fine and functional. And it's going to be a great moment for Troy to get that match too. So I'm very, very happy to see him do that. And it says, because Gi guys have no clue how to know Gi. Not always. Tell that to Neen. It says, haven't seen the highlights on that one, but I seen the Mika one, and it looked like it was great. It was great, man. Very, very much respect. Mika, that looked good. Luke Griffith got a submission. Owen Jones, Dominic Mejia didn't quite live up to the hype. There was that. That's the joke. I see. You added the crying laughing because you wanted to say it was a joke. Look at you. What's up, friends? Good to see you guys. Taking your questions while we're going through some plugs for the show. First and foremost, oh, look at this. Did you do a heart? I can do a heart. Look at that. Oh, look at it. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I didn't know if I made the thing that you were going to do it at the exact same time a heart was going to go. It says, oops, wrong account. It's all good, dude. That looks so dumb. But you know what? I'll take all your hearts because it's good for business. And it says, oh, that's so adorable. It was, dude. I didn't count for it to be that adorable. Look at it. Look at us. What's up, BJJ Addict? We're talking some post. Who's number 121? Okay. Again, performer of the night, Mika Galvo. I think we're all in agreement on that. He has to be your number one shining guy. I'll do some toasts and I'll do some cleaning up of shop and saying some toasts. Now, how do you guys get toasts? It's very easy. If you guys give us a like and a subscribe on all of our channels, just send us a DM. I'll give you a toast on air. And we do toast for those who got finishes within regulation. So we're going to go down the line here and give some toasts. The first toast goes on out to Nick Mataya, who got a submission win over Ian Butler. Now, Ian was just on the show, so technically we were kind of rooting for him. But Nick, you're part of the B team, and we appreciate when people get submissions, and you did it. And legitimately, you set it up very well, dude. Like, I saw the way you entered it, and you didn't play no game. So cheers to you, Nick. Congratulations on your win. All right, continuing it on. We'll go down. Mia Fangria defeats Janice Russell, or Janice Russell, depending on how you say it. Mia, this toast goes on out to you. Congratulations on your armbar finish at Who's Number 121. Very exciting to see what you did out there. You looked awesome. You killed it. And we hope that they give you another invitation in the future, because I feel like anybody who gets a submission at Who's Number 1 should probably be invited back. So cheers to you. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. Like I said, if you guys want one of these for yourself, let's say you're super into yourself or just want to hear me say some nice words about you that I would not otherwise say, give us a like, a share, a subscribe. You can go on all of our channels. I'll go through a few right now for those of you on our main broadcast. You can like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube page. We are at Grappling Hour. And if you're watching the broadcast right now, shoot us a subscription. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. And that is a real goal that we have created. And I would love it if you guys could help us on that. And it says, can't do it, too many channels. First off, fuck off. I'm not supposed to say that, right? Sir, would you please consider following? You've been on my show, you idiot. You can't say can't do it. You've been on my show. Get out of here. All right. You can also follow us on our Instagram at Grappling Hour. We make it very simple. It's at Grappling Hour on all these social media platforms. You can also find us on the Facebook in case you have a racist uncle that you sometimes check in on Facebook just to see if they're still racist. Answer, they probably are. So at Grappling Hour, what's up the Combat Academy, one of my nearest and dearest friends. Good to see you, brother. Yes, you can follow us on there. You can also follow us on Twitch at Grappling Hour. We are on there, and I think we might have some video game content that's coming out sooner than later. I'm very excited to give you guys that information. And it says, if I don't follow everything, it's a mistake. I don't know if I believe you. You told me one thing. Now I'm starting to think that you were lying to me. I don't know what to believe anymore, sir. Let's break this up. What game, Turkey? Well, we've got like this. What is this? We got like this old school video game arcade game where people can play like 1,600 old school video games on there. So we'll be taking that around and bringing that with athletes. So we'll have jiu-jitsu athletes playing video games against one another. I think we're going to do one for the Christmas party for the gym that I'm at, that when we do a fight companion for the UFC, is it 294? Oh yeah, you're old, I forget. Bro, you're not that far off from me. I've seen your takedowns. You're not that far off from me. You're just as old as I am. If not older, because I've seen those level changes. And burn. Okay. Who else do we have? Tanine. Oh, yeah. This toast goes on out to Tanine Delpra. Congratulations on your win. Troy is the homie. So I'm a little sad you did that to my buddy, but he's game. He'll be fine. I just want to say congratulations to you. The armbar was slick. The transition was slick. And it's one of those things that I wish I could do. I don't really get armbars like that. I guess we're getting into a sad part because it's getting a little jealous right now. Anyway, back to you. Congratulations, Mr. Delpa. And you know what? I think you're going to be quite good at no-gi. So cheers to you. You can't put RIP my dog Troy. Like, I'm doing a toast to the other dude. We have to pay him his respect. It's like, dude, if you beat one of our other friends in a fight or a grappling match, which you probably wouldn't, I would have to do a toast to you instead of our buddy. And it says, yeah, I would have tried to force the head and arm to the back from there. Absolutely. We all have our preferences. We all do what we do. Let me see. Luke Griffith, we have to do a toast for. Luke Griffith, this toast goes on out to you. I think not only for the finish that you got, but also for the fact that you called out Craig Jones. That's a brave thing to do because the internet never forgets. And Craig might roast you, but your jiu-jitsu's good. So I guess you got to get your props now. And congratulations for doing what you do. You're awesome. You got a great finish tonight. And, you let Roosevelt kind of enter the legs himself. And I was worried, but I shouldn't have been because you did the thing. So cheers to you, one Luke Griffith. What's up, 10th Planet Marietta? Good to see you. We are finishing up our comments here as we close on out. It says nose beers for the winner. Don't do that, bro. These kids don't need to be doing the nose beering. They're just kids, man. Though if you do any kind of nose beers, please be responsible. Do it with friends. Do it under this house? I don't know how that goes. All right. You can follow us on Twitter. It is at Grappling Hour on Twitter. Or if you don't like Elon, and some people don't, and they have issues with him, all good. You can also go at Threads. And, oh no, the at Threads went over my face. I moved. Oh no, I can't move it right. It's supposed to be like over here and it ended up over my face. Long story. You guys can't see it. All right. At Threads, at Grappling Hour, wherever you prefer between those two. Just to let you guys know, in the month of December, you're going to see all of our interviews start to appear on our Spotify and Apple Podcast section. Now, granted, you can also find it on Google Podcasts, on Amazon Music, on Audible, all of those different places. But the main two that everybody goes to, you can find at Grappling Hour on Spotify. Give us some love. Very easy to find us there. Or if you prefer, you can also go to Apple Podcasts, the old school, the IG. It should just be podcasts or iTunes, but people don't call that. It's an actual thing, Apple Podcasts, so go there. And it says, you three Threads, you mean like fake Twitter. Bro, all these people suck. I don't know what to tell you. And sometimes we get momentum on one of them and not the other one. I don't really give a shit at this point. It's whoever gives daddy more love. So if the algorithm is nicer to me on Threads, we're going to be on Threads. But for the time being, we're just playing all the fields. I guess that's what we're doing at this point. Fake Twitter. I'm gonna be like, fake takedowns, bro. Get out of here, man. You can also join our Discord. We continue the conversations that we have here, like this enthralling one that we're having with one Aaron McKenzie. And you can catch some of the comments on there at Grappling Hour on that position. I want to make sure that we are getting everybody in on the toast in case we have not done so. I think I have to do Mika. I think that's the next one, right? And I think at that point I might have covered everybody. So no, Diego, we have to do him too. I considered that almost a no contest, so I guess that wasn't what that was. And it says, "Don't be mad at me for trying to get you engagement." I don't think you're trying to get me any engagement. I think you literally are just trying to be funny, and not great at that. So just say, I'm helping you be funny. Boom, take that. All right, Apple Podcast, Discords. And you know, we're on the TikTok too. So if you guys prefer that, if you're a child and you love dances and occasionally want to see what I'm up to, at Grappling Hour on TikTok. All right, this toast goes on out to Diego Pato. Listen, Diego Pato, congratulations. It's very unfortunate that the match ended like that because you were throwing up submissions like, whoa, everybody needs to respect your leg attack game. I think that you hurt Baby Shark very early on in that match, and yet everybody continued on somehow, and they forged ahead. So cheers to you. Well-earned victory. I know it isn't under the most ideal circumstance, but it still was pretty baller. So cheers to you, one Diego Pato. All right, the last one. Last cheers. Mika Calvo, let me say this about you. We've enjoyed your work for so long. This was a great match between you and Cody Steele. You got to show off a lot of great techniques. And more importantly, if I can say this, you got a partner that was game to go to places that most other competitors don't go with you. And he didn't come out with a win on this one. But as a result of it, he was shooting for it. He was going for it. And we have to respect that. But you came out the winner. And you beat up our friend Cody Steele. I think it's time that you come on the show. So, Mika Calvo, consider this a call out. And I get it if you're scared. I get it. Totally understand. Intimidating to be interviewed. But I think it's time you come on the show and we'll give you a warm welcome. We could even do it in person if you want to. So, cheers to you, Mika. Congratulations. We've put you on notice. We want you on the show now. So, congratulations to you, sir. We hope to see you in the near future on the Grappling Hour. Also, really dope submission, by the way. I can't do that shit. Wish I could. All right. So that covers all of the main bases, but the big one is always, check this out. You guys probably won't see this one, but here you go. If you guys could go on over to hideout.page/grappling hour, that is where you can see our interviews 30 days before anybody else. And we've already done our December interviews now. So they're about to go out to our subscribers in the next day, in which they'll be able to see these interviews 30 days before everybody else. So go on over to hideout.page/grappling hour. And for $5, you can see those interviews 30 days before. And for a few extra dollars, you can see tape breakdowns, tape studies. There's a segment called Roast Raf where people roast my competition footage. And I think it turns out to be a very funny segment because we do that with athletes who are far better than me, who maybe they're not as funny as me, but they do okay. And I feed them some jokes here and there. So you can check that out and episodes that aren't available anywhere else. And of course, you can only check that out at hi.page/grappling hour. The support you put there means the world to me and the people that we bring on the show because we make it so I can travel, get new gadgets, and get new equipment. And now bring on a social media editor so you see clips every single day that we do them. And what's the last thing? We talked about that. Oh, we have merch coming, by the way. We have some Grappling Hour t-shirts. I really hope that you guys buy these. They'll be a great gift to give that certain somebody in case you want to make your girlfriend really, really confused as to saying, like, why did you give me a Grappling Hour t-shirt? It's like, because it's the best show on TV. Duh. Buy one for yourself, buy one for loved ones, whatever you want to do. But those will be up very, very soon. So look at our websites for that and check out our social media where we will be posting that very, very soon. Have I covered it? Have I gotten it all? You guys can tell me. Don't tell me it better be cool. It is cool, you motherfucker. I was going to say this, but I'll tell you guys now because there's, you guys are the chosen few if you stuck around this long. I was going to say this, Aaron, but you didn't know this. The people who gave us the best interviews this year are going to get t-shirts. Now, Aaron McKenzie, who's in the chat right now, was on the show this year. It's not looking good for him to get a t-shirt, though. Just saying. Where's the pre-order? We'll put it up soon. You'll see it. Believe me, if you've ever seen the way I social media, there's no way you don't see what I put up. I am quite good at making sure people are in on the know on that. So, yes, the pre-order will go up very, very soon. And it is our hope that friends of the show will go and support and give us some love. So I'm looking at you, Jesse. I'm looking at you. Jesse, you have real estate money. I don't understand why you haven't bought any of this yet. So get out of here, man. Jesse can't pretend like he doesn't have any kind of money like these other jiu-jitsu nerds. These other jiu-jitsu nerds are poor. This dude's in beautiful houses being like, look at this. We just sold this. So I better see some love from one Uncle Jesse and many of you who are in the comment section who I know personally, and I will attack personally. I think that's what I have to do. I literally have to put people in submissions, grab their phone, and be like, order it in front of me. Literally, I'm gonna walk you through. Here's the link. I'm gonna let go of this armbar as soon as you press buy and confirm. You have to confirm the purchase, because if you don't, then I'm not letting this armbar go. No. There you go. Okay, great. Thank you. Pleasure doing business with you is what I like to tell people. All right, ladies and gents, that's pretty much it, I think, for the day. We have had ourselves a good day here today. New episodes coming up. We just had one with Amanda Levy. Fatima Klein comes out on Tuesday. That's a really, really good one. And we have some really good folks coming down the pipeline. We've interviewed the folks from the PGF. That includes one Ryan Aiken. That includes the winner, Elijah Carlton. That includes Kevin Beering. And it also includes, I think there's somebody else that I'm just forgetting in the back of my mind. But we've done our interviews already. So to anybody who is already on Get Fionn, I've tried to get Fionn. She has not gotten back to me on a time. For whatever reason. I honestly take her at her word that she just didn't have the time, because she, at least when I sent her a note, was like, hey, you won ADCC, we'd like to bring you on. She was like, oh, yeah, I'd like to come on. And we just haven't made it happen for whatever reason. There are other guests that are like, oh, yeah, I'll come on. And I don't think they do. But Fionn is definitely, we've been in contact. It's all good. We'll figure out a time when it's conducive. But she has a very warm welcome here on the show. Especially now that she has a fucking DVD called Basic Bitch Passing. Or was it Basic Knee Cuts? Or Basic Bitch Knee Cuts? Like, goddamn, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Basic Bitch Knee Cuts for the win. Absolutely. Genius level trolling. That's her style. Nah, I don't think so. You don't pass like she does. She's the GOAT. You're just kind of like a dude. You know what I mean? But yes, she 100% has an invite. Another person who you could put some pressure on for those of us here at the show. We're just going to put these people on Front Street. I'm tired of pretending like they aren't, somebody that we wanted on or whatever. But let's put this out there. What's his face? Dante Leon. We've been trying to get this dude on for a year. And for whatever reason, it was like, yeah, it sounds cool. Oh, man, I forgot. Like, what's a phone? Yeah. Oh, and so we're always friendly enough. But I'm like, bro, you need to fucking come on this show and stop fucking dicking us around. So tell our good friend, Dante Leon, that he needs to get off his shit and come on this show, because I think that would be fun. Plus, he recently put up the Silver Surfer, the Fantastic Four movie with Silver Surfer was the worst comic book movie of all time. And I messaged him and I was like, it's not even the worst movie in the past 20 years, dude. There's plenty more that's worse. And I go, when you come on the show, you better have a list of 5 ready. And he's like, I'm up for that. And I go, cool. When are you coming on? Silence. So we're friendly, but let's get him on the show. And what's up, Jits Picks BYDB? I don't even know what that means, dude. But I think that means you're a photographer, and welcome to the show. It should be also it's been a good show because we're closing it up. So you kind of came as we're at closing time. So there's no more drinks to be had, unfortunately, by DB. Anyway, my thanks to all of you for watching along tonight. I hope that you guys will support us on all those channels and at hi.page/grappling hour. Become a member. Why are you guys showing up now? Like, I'm leaving. I'm trying to get out of here. But yes, you guys can go support us at Grappling Hour on all the major social media. And by all major, I mean all of them. You can also check us out at hi.page/grappling hour. Become a member. See interviews 30 days before anybody else. Pay a few extra dollars to see some tape studies, breakdowns, extra episodes not available anywhere else, etc., etc., etc. So that's going to do it for us. It has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.